On the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, live on Sports 1440, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you basically want to tune in here. Instagram, Twitch, you can stream us, you can listen on the AM feed. We appreciate you doing so. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson with you here, sitting in for Jason and Gregor off today. He will be back tomorrow. Have no fear. Of course, you can always reach us 1-833-401-1440, Connor at sports1440.ca as well. Or, hop on the chat on YouTube at Sports 1440 AM. See a few guys in here already. Lots to get to on the show today. Of course, it is game day. The Edmonton Elks 5-1 taking on the Rough Riders. Kickoff 7 o'clock out at Mosaic. Should be a fun one. Top spot in the West on the line. Obviously, it is going to be a very emotional game out there tonight. The Rough Riders, of course, losing a teammate. It's just a tragic circumstances what happened last weekend for the Edmonton Elks. Hey, they got to face that head on. They got to put that in the back burner and try to go out there and find a way to get a win. The Saskatchewan Rough Riders this season have been very good. Now, they have also been giving up a lot of points when you go back and look at the season. 31-27 wins over Winnipeg and BC. Great game in Calgary in week 3, winning 40-37 in overtime. They fell to the Argos. Since then, though, they have rattled off a couple straight wins before their bye week. Most notably, the big win over Hamilton, 38-7. That was the best performance by their defense. The Edmonton Elks trying to get in there and make some things happen offensively. Obviously, we know they have the firepower. Can we get a Justin Rankin bounce back game? We'll have to wait and see. But it's going to be a fun one. And hey, if you're looking for a place to watch it, I'm going to be down at First Round Jasper Ave location, or downtown location, if you want to swing by. Lots to get to on this show today. Of course, we will talk some Rough Riders with Rob Vanstone. Check him out at ridervelt.com. Team historian, covers them as well as anyone. So we'll talk to him about the team this season so far. Also have Thirsty Thursday with Stephen Paysan of Sherbrooke Liquor. I saw his post. It looks like it's going to be some ciders today. So that'll be a nice way to kick off the first hour of the show at 3 o'clock. Special guests in studio. Of course, we do this every week, but Colin Livingston going to be bringing in Alex Tagliani. So he's going to hang around with us for a couple segments here. We'll get to the stats of the day. The roundtable with Kruger and Paulson. Jason is going to join us actually at 4:20 with lots of things to look at. We'll get 5 questions. Mark Spector and Eddie Steele. Then again, Cam Tate's 2-minute warning to wrap up this show. So lots to get to. Thank you guys for joining us on the program today. The big news and notes of the day. Well, of course, game day. Elks Riders, going to be a lot of fun. How about the NHL? A couple signings. I'd say one expected, one maybe a little bit of a surprise. Jet Greaves getting a 3-year, $15 million contract from the Columbus Blue Jackets. The negotiating there would have been nasty. They didn't want to go to that. So just before arbitration, they get the job done. Now, the Columbus Blue Jackets, they offered $2.8 million. Greaves wanted $7.5. They land right at $5. So almost right in the middle. That's perfect. I think it's a pretty good deal. 3 years. He's 24 years old. Career record of 36, 28, and 11 with a 913 save percentage at 2.6 goals against average. A guy who I would assume they believe is on the rise. So you reward him. Now, the contract that might have surprised us a little bit. Patrick Kane returning to Chicago. I don't think overall that's a very surprising deal, but 2 years, $8 million. Not too shabby for the veteran. 37, he'll turn 38 next season. Last year with the Red Wings, he had 67 games played, 57 points, 16 goals. So, hey, you get a bit of a vet back with the Chicago Blackhawks. A good spot, I think, for Connor Bedard, a guy he can kind of learn a little bit from. Hey, you got your guy. You're handing out contracts like nobody's business. It is only 2 years, so maybe not the worst thing for Chicago, but I think that number probably threw a few people off. And then in the NFL, how about Fernando Mendoza? 4 years, $57.27 million guaranteed for the Las Vegas Raiders. Very curious to see how it all plays out. They have Kirk Cousins. Do they want to rush Mendoza? He's obviously going to be there for a long time. He's going to get his 5th-year option picked up, I would assume. No rush to get him out there, maybe a year behind Cousins. That being said, no NFL team is ever patient. They always want to get their guy out there in Mendoza. From what we saw at Indiana, it looks like he could be an absolute stud. So a few guys getting paid handsomely. Speaking of handsomely and getting paid, Declan Kruger here as well. Declan, good afternoon. How you doing?
Lota has been giving me intros for 3 years, and I think that was better than all of them. So I appreciate it. Doing pretty well. Excited for the Elks game tonight, of course. It's a really, really big game in that West Division. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Like it's July 22nd in July 23rd in a hockey market. The days get a little longer. Things get a little bit slower. Luckily, Patrick Kane signs an $8 million AAV deal to help brighten things up a little bit for us. But yeah, no, I'm doing well. Happy to be here, and we always have a lot of fun. So let's get it rolling.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one here. Of course, we will talk a lot of CFL. You have to. I mean, it's a big game. The Edmonton Elks haven't played in one of these games in a long time where top spot is on the line. Well, they never have. Not as the Elks. As the Eskimos, we used to see that all the time. But as the Elks, they haven't been there. Chris Morris and Ed Hervey, Mark Killam deserve so much credit for what they've done, turning this team around. And, the building blocks were probably built last year. There's a lot of camaraderie being built, consistency. It's been there. And that's one of those things that when Chris Morris got the job, he talked about that. Like, we want people who are going to be here for the long term. Even when things didn't go maybe the best last year, they weren't firing coaches. They weren't moving on. They were building. And it's paid dividends. You see what they've been able to do. JC Sherrod, I think, has taken incredible steps. Aaron Grimes, a former player, getting into coaching. I think the backfield has been outstanding. They're really starting to see these things. And players are starting to grow. Justin Rankin, we knew that was going to happen. And you're kind of making a spot where I think players want to come to. Look at Austin Mack. Like, he was available for not very long. He signed with the Green and Gold. Cody Fajardo's been stable. And we'll see what happens against the Rough Riders tonight. We'll dive into their statistics, even their head-to-head stuff a little bit more in the stats of the day. But it's going to be a fun one. Again, emotional. Going to be an interesting, I think, feeling around the stadium with all that's happened for the Riders in the last week. And thankfully, we'll talk to one of the best out there, Rob Vanstone, in a few minutes. Deck, when you look at this matchup for the Green and Gold, the Rough Riders have allowed points. Now, they cleaned it up, like I said, against the Hamilton Tiger Cats before their bye week, only allowing 7 points. Pretty good. You are a Rough Riders fan. We'll let the cat out of the bag. What have you seen from this defense, and can they continue the success that the BC Lions have had against Justin Rankin? Because outside of BC, no one's really been able to slow him down.
I don't think Rider fans had such an issue with Josh Campbell calling the defensive plays, wanted it to be Corey Mace. The thing, this is how I've described it on Low Tide Show. This is how I've described it on Elks Nation. Do you know when you play Madden and you play defense and you just the first coach suggestion comes up and you just click cover two man.
Yeah.
That's all Saskatchewan does. They don't really scheme anything up. They kind of sit back behind the ball, let things get thrown under them and just let yards develop. The Toronto game was the most scathing example of it. They just got picked apart on that game defensively, and a lot of it came down to there not being enough creative play calling defensively. They shorted up a little bit in that Hamilton game, obviously, but that was Jake Dolagala who came out there, and I don't know, didn't play terrible, but also didn't look great. They went with Trey Ford the week after that, right? So I have a lot of questions about their defense. I don't think they can stop Justin Rankin, and more importantly, the Elks need Justin Rankin to be going, because in that environment, you can't have your quarterback. I've talked to Cody about this. He wants to throw the ball somewhere in the mid-20s a game. You can't have your quarterback in that environment on the road with that crowd noise throwing the ball 15, 20 more times than he wants to. So the run game has to be there, and I think it will be.
I hope they don't go away from it. I mean, I know that you can't have a game plan and just stick to it. You have to adapt throughout the process and see how things go. But when you look at this Rough Riders defense, fourth worst rushing defense in the league, giving up 101.8 yards on the ground per game. On the flip side, the Elks running defense giving up 88.8. So there's a little bit of a differential there. When it comes to passing yards allowed per game, Rough Riders, more stout, only giving up 253 yards per game. One less game played. That doesn't impact the yards per game. Calgary Stampeders secondary getting torched at 346.8 yards per game. But, when you look at this defense and how you might want to approach it, I think passing is kind of the way to go. And Declan, like you say, I mean, if you're going to let the throws come underneath, I feel like the Edmonton Elks have enough playmakers on this team to really take advantage of that. Yards after catch, and heck, could be Rankin, right? We know how good he is as a receiver. If he makes one man miss, it can open things up quite a bit. So I'm thinking that might be a pretty good strategy for the Edmonton Elks going into this one. Getting another team coming off the bye week, a little bit more rested. Propane P. Fourth worst defense, that means they're top 5 defense. Well, I mean, heck, if you're going to look at it that way, you got a good point.
Well, everything's top 10.
Everyone's top 10. Yeah. I mean, it's not quite as meaningful if you're right there, but that is a good point. I suppose you could spin it that way if you'd like. For the NHL, let's hop over there a little bit quickly. And Donnie P, I don't know if you want to get in on this one as well. I'm sure you've got some thoughts on the Patrick Kane contract. But I'm looking at it, like I said, last year, played in 67 games, had 16 goals, had 41 assists, good for 57 points. The contract number might surprise a few people. Where do you guys think he slots in with the Chicago Blackhawks team?
To me, this is kind of so Connor Bedard hasn't really had that setup man yet. He hasn't had that winger who's
Nick Foligno wasn't doing it for you?
No, Nick Foligno hasn't really cut it. Nick Lardis hasn't really cut it. There's been a lot of guys who haven't cut it and haven't been able to get him to that peak of what we think this player can be. To me, Patrick Kane helps him get to the player he can be. Not only is he just still a really quality player, it's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but it's just, to me, like, I like the deal for you're helping Connor Bedard reach that peak, in my opinion, because Patrick Kane's still a phenomenal playmaker, but like, it is too much money. But for Chicago, realistically, you're not making the playoffs next year, so who really cares? Dude, I think it's the right idea.
I think they're built like way more poorly than people give them credit for.
They're horribly built.
Dude, I don't really see that much of a light at the end of the tunnel, if I'm being honest.
I don't either.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're set up perfectly down the middle. On the wings, they've got nothing. On defense, they have a couple of things, but you also have the most overpaid defenseman in the NHL in Bowen Byram. Probably the worst contract in the NHL, for being honest, in Bowen Byram.
Like him as a player, though.
Like him as a player.
I do like him.
I do like the player, but
12
it's a terrible contract. So like, I look at the Hawks and I don't like their defense. I like their goalie. I don't like their wings, but I do like this for the fact of Connor Bedard needed a winger, and to me, this will help unlock him. Now, will you still get the same Patrick Kane? Who knows? But he's still been fantastic, even at his advanced age.
It's going to be electric when he makes his return. Like, I love a return to their old team when Keenan Allen came back to the Chargers, Ryan Smith returning to the Edmonton Oilers after the departure. I love that sort of thing. This one, I think it's going to be great. Now, quickly for you, yes or no, is Connor Bedard the captain of the Blackhawks next season?
He'd be mine.
He has to be.
I just think it's tough for a guy who gets drafted at that position with the status, with all the hype around him. Like, he was doing sit-down interviews where him and Wemby were talking about how they're going to change the face of the game. Then you pay him 15 sheets. Like, that he's kind of in a similar boat to Leo Carlson. Like, he's going to come off a $75 million contract at 26 and want a little bit more than that. I just think it's so tough to like, everything that surrounded Connor Bedard, I think it's so tough to not give him the C.
And I also think, like, we do have a text coming in from Kenneth. They might not even play together. I think you just signed Patrick Kane to give Connor Bedard that winger.
I think so too.
I'm sorry. There is, in no world is Patrick Kane not going to play on the first power play unit instead of Teuvo Teravainen. Like, Patrick Kane is a way better player at this point than Teuvo Teravainen. Patrick Kane is still a really quality offensive player. Like, look at that wing depth.
Teuvo Teravainen is like the all-time, like, was that guy ever nice player? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he fits, like, he was like, was he ever good?
I think sneaky, absolute Oilers massacre.
Yeah.
He kills them. But, like, Teuvo was good, but
you always expected he'd cap out a little better.
Yeah, that's fair. He was underrated, but at the same time, he was disappointing.
That's such a good way of putting it. I totally agree.
Cold. My point being, if he is given the captaincy, having a guy like Patrick Kane would be great to handle the media, kind of run him through things. A guy who's been around, seen it all, wasn't the captain of the Blackhawks. That was obviously Jonathan Toews. And it's not unprecedented. Connor McDavid was 19. Gabriel Landeskog, I believe, also 19. You had Crosby getting it. Is he 20? He might have been 19. 19. Vinny Lecavalier was also another young one. Jonathan Toews was 20. So it makes sense. It kind of falls into, the expectation where it would be. I don't think you give it to Patty Kane for a year, nothing like that. So I think Connor Bedard does don the C this season. Cat Dad says Kane this year, Bedard next year. Big celebration. The handoff, like Mighty Duck style, rip the C off and place it on a sweater. Kind of says they'll be on the power play. Just a weird setup now. Cancerov, Calder candidate gets pushed down a bit now. Kane, Bedard get filled 5-on-5. Now that'll be interesting to see how that one works out. We're kind of consensus that the Blackhawks probably not going to be a good team. And then you put them in that division, it's not going to be good.
They're not going to be this year's Ducks.
No.
Like Triple C and Truck.
No, yeah,
Thinks
like
they might be.
You know why they're not going to be this year's Ducks? Because they're a worse team. Like, because they're worse.
Because they have two defensemen that I like in Bo Byram. And like I like Alex Vlasic. I like what will be their young guy there in Levshinov, but he's not a stud yet. I like what I think Sam Rinzel could be, but I look and I see two legit, like that top pair is most teams' second pairings in Bo Byram and Alex Vlasic. And then you have two third pairings to me. So, and then I look and I see a fourth line that just frankly isn't very good, a third line that is a fourth line, a second line that is a third line, and a first line that's a first line. It's just, I don't know. Like, I think Frondell's going to be a stud.
Yep.
I like Frank Nazar. I like Connor Bedard. The problem is there's just so many question marks everywhere on that.
It's a heavy drop off. Anaheim last year actually had a good team with like some good vets mixed in with a good mix of the young players as well. And they also got very beneficial that the Oilers and Golden Knights both had largely disappointing regular seasons. Neither were a 100-point team. In the Central, I don't see Colorado falling off. The Stars and Wild, no. I would say the Utah Mammoth on the rise. The Jets, I assume, are going to be better. Preds Blues, we'll see. But for the Chicago Blackhawks, yeah, I don't see them going on an Anaheim Ducks type run.
It needs to be a miracle.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. So much would need to go right. Like they strike lightning in a bottle for 84 games.
Like, look at the Central.
That's what I'm saying. Avs, Stars, Wild, Mammoth, Jets, and then Blues, Preds.
They're still last. The Hawks are still last by a mile.
Maybe the Preds.
Maybe the Preds.
But look at the Preds roster compared to this Blackhawks roster. Like, at least the Preds have players where I can look and I can say, okay, the first line, Stamkos, O'Reilly, Evangelista. I still like all those players. I know O'Reilly and Stamkos are old. Their second line has Philip Forsberg, who's still awesome. Like, potentially Matthew Wood and Maverick Bork. That's most second lines. Like, they still have a team where I can look and say, you know what? Is there some question marks on depth? Absolutely. But at least I look at their defense and go, I think that's going to hold up. Okay. Like, they still have at least a second pairing in Nick Hag and Nick Perbix.
They had 6 wins until November 25th, the Nashville Predators. Like, they put themselves in such a bad position last year. They got back into it. And Steven Stamkos, correct me if I'm wrong, had a decent year, didn't he? He got hot for a while.
Steven Stamkos, what was the stat? I think he had 9
42
points
goals
by the end of November. And then he went on to have 40 goals again.
42 goals, yeah.
It was crazy. Steven Stamkos was legitimately the hottest player in the NHL in December and January. He had I think he had 20 goals in December and January combined.
Yeah.
Like, it was insane. Him and Zach Hyman were legit the two best players in those 2 months.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun to see because he was getting slandered quite a bit. We'll take a break here. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson sitting in for Jason. Lots to get to on the show today. Stephen Bazan of Sherbrooke Liquor going to join us for Thirsty Thursday. We got Colin Livingston and Alex Tagliani going to join us in studio. We'll do that for 2 segments. Roundtable, Stats of the Day, Gregor, Speck, Eddie Steele. Coming up next, a longtime reporter for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, Rob Vanstone, going to join us. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Are you a skilled laborer? All Star Construction wants to talk to you.
A heavy equipment operator with trackhoe or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around Edmonton for local land developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with trackhoe or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
You see it? Fusion Promo Marketing can make it. Fusion makes high-quality, memorable promotional products for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. From vision to reality, get noticed and remembered. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
Guys, there never seems to be enough time in the day, but you need to make time for this. Ken Franchek here. If you're 40 or over, a quick PSA blood test is crucial for early prostate cancer detection. The Prostate Cancer Center's Man Van is a mobile health clinic driving change for men's health. A few minutes could save your life. To get the Man Van out to your business or event, book today at getcheck.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you. Call Legacy. Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool. Call Legacy. Call Legacy. Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
What's 426 divided by 12? Okay, if I carry the one, yeah, we're out. Go Auto has a free credit calculator that does the math for you. See what you could qualify for, estimate your payments, and get a better idea of what's in your budget. Because shopping for a vehicle is exciting, but crunching numbers, yeah, not so much. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780 all sevens.
Not sure where to turn? Remember 211, the number to contact for mental health, addiction, and community supports. It's free, confidential, and available 24/7. 211 Alberta. One number, countless connections.
A message from the government of Alberta.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
The Sherwood Park Highland Gathering is this Saturday and Sunday at Broadmoor Lake Park, featuring live pipes and drums, bands, Highland dancing, heavy games, and sheep and duck herding, plus food trucks, beer gardens, British car display, and the Celtic Marketplace. Tickets at sphg.ca.
Portions of this hour are brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, we've got the daily specials. We'll let you know about those in a few minutes here, involving tonight's Elks game and Rough Riders. Declan had a bet. I had one. Go check them out. PlayAlberta.ca. The Lotto Max on Friday, $25 million. Then the Lotto 649 Gold Ball Jackpot on Saturday, $36 million. Remember, be responsible. Use your game sense. Right now, we will get to the CFL report. Brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payment, no interest for 1 year on your furnace or AC. Bundle them together and save more at legacyheating.ca as we will head out to Saskatchewan and discuss the Rough Riders. They get set to host the Elks tonight, 7 o'clock at Mosaic Stadium with a longtime reporter for the team now working with them. You can catch the writing at riderville.com, Rob Vanstone. Rob, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
I'm okay, thanks. How you doing, Connor?
Doing really good, and we appreciate you joining us today on the show to look ahead to this game. We're going to get really into it, but I think we have to just quickly touch on the tragedy that happened over this past week. And I just wanted to ask, how is the team dealing with this? Because as much of a distraction as it is, they do have a game to get to, and it does seem a little bit more insignificant with all that's going on. But this is a huge game.
It really is. I mean, it's uncommon in recent years for the Rough Riders and Elks to be playing a game of this magnitude early in the year. Where both teams are in the upper echelon of the league, and first and foremost, in our thoughts are the people and families involved in a tragedy last Saturday night, and there'll be a tribute to both people who lost their lives, and that's going to be a real somber occasion. And I'm sure the team and the players and everybody involved is going to do the right thing to honor people who have been so affected by this the past week. And then I think it'll be I think a bit of a tonic to just watch a football game, not forgetting, not losing sight of the horrible tragic things that have happened. But it'll be nice to kind of, I found in the last 4 or 5 days, I've just been looking for anything to kind of focus on and get my mind off stressing. And so I think this will help in that regard. That's what I've been trying to do since Sunday morning at 9 when I heard the horrible news.
Yeah, just unimaginable. And again, we send along our condolences to everyone impacted by this one. Just the loss of 2 lives. Awful, awful news. Now, we'll turn our attention to the game. And as I said, it seems insignificant, but big matchup between these two teams. And for the Rough Riders, great start to the year, 3-0. But while that was happening, defensively giving up a lot of points. Did better against Hamilton, but they do have their quarterback issues. What have you made of the Rough Riders defense this season?
I mean, the Riders have still allowed the fewest average yards per game this year in the league this year. The defensive line, or the Riders are tied for second in sacks with 11, which is only one off the league lead, and the 4 teams that have as many or more sacks have all played more games. So that aspect of it has been holding up well. I think it's tough when you lose a player like Roland Milligan Jr., who was a 2-time All-CFL player and was injured in the first half of the first game of the year, and he's returning to the lineup tonight. And I think that's gonna help a great deal. And you need all hands on deck against an Edmonton team that can move the football so many ways with Justin Rankin alone. and then you incorporate the other weapons they have, and the way Cody has been playing, and the caliber of that Edmonton defense. Coaches talk a lot about complementary football, and I think Edmonton really, the way Edmonton has played, really accentuates the importance of that. Shows how it's done.
Rob Vanstone joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Duncan Kruger, Donovan Paulson sitting in as the Elks get set to take on the Rough Riders tonight. So you mentioned Cody Fajardo. We've seen a couple weeks where the BC Lions have done a good job and almost kind of forcing the Elks to go away from the star running back, Justin Rankin. How do you think they try to slow him down? What will be the game plan to slow down a player like Rankin?
Well, first and foremost, you got to wrap up. If you do get your hands on him, you can't let him get away. And that's easier said than done. I mean, we saw a touchdown run not so long ago where he bottled up in the backfield. All of a sudden he pivots to his left and touchdown. And that play in the hands of 99% of the running backs in this world is a 4-yard loss. So he turned 2nd and 14 into 6 points. And, Cody he doesn't play above his, he doesn't try to do things he can't do, and is really good at accentuating his strengths. And if you have him in the pocket and he does the spin move, and everybody knows the spin move is coming. It's been part of his identity as a quarterback in the CFL since 2019, but nobody really stops it. And Cody is such a resourceful quarterback, and generally the numbers in the win column are more impressive than the numbers in the stats beside his name. He's such a gamer, and as much as there's been talk about Justin Rankin and everything that he's done, and justifiably so, I think Cody deserves a ton of credit for the way that he has played. Your team isn't 5-1 if their quarterbacking isn't extremely good.
Rob, I just wanted to take it back to the defense for a second, because I know immediately following the Toronto game and leading up to that one as well, Riders fans seem to have they seem to have issues with the way Josh Bell was calling the defense. And I just wanted to know if you think, like, since that Toronto game, he's kind of corrected himself, like if that was a fair sentiment to begin with, and just overall kind of the job he's done so far this season.
I think Josh Bell has done really well. He's a first-year defensive coordinator in title, but Corey Mace had leaned on him a lot in previous years. I think we've seen in recent games the way that the defense has come around that it's going to be just fine. Part of the issue this year in the CFL, and it's terrific unless you're a defensive coordinator, is that there are a lot of points being scored, and so you almost have to just accept that it comes with the territory, the nature of the game. And but I think the Rough Riders at 4-1, they've been making key defensive stops when they've been needed. And I think that is the key. There was one game against Toronto where the defense struggled, but no team is undefeated so far this year, and everybody's had one day like that. So that's one of the least of my worries is the Rider defense. I think there's been a transition too, with Roland Milligan Jr. out of the lineup, and they're adjusting to new personnel on the defensive line. Linebacking core that's different from last year. So I think it took a while for some of the pieces to just feel entirely comfortable in those new positions. But now that that's there, I think the defense is playing very well, and everybody in your audience who follows the Elks knows how well the Elks defense is playing. So I wouldn't be surprised if tonight's game is a bit of a contrast to some of the 40-38 games we've seen this year, because those defenses are both going to be tough to move the ball against.
If you flip the script for a second and put on your Elks Nation cap, like you look at what Keyshawn Johnson and Keon and even Sam Emelis are doing in that receiving group, like what do you think the key to taking them out of the game for the Elks is? Like, is it as simple as play more man coverage and trust best on best, because Trevor is obviously so accurate, he's always going to find soft spots and zones? Like, is there a key to taking these guys out of the game, or are those three just at a point where they're so good they're going to get theirs no matter what?
I think that's probably it. I mean, a lot of people know Keyshawn Johnson is going to get the football in second down situations. He led the league in second down receptions last year. He's doing that again this year. If you play man defense against Trevor Harris, you might give up 60, and that's part of the problem. And defensive coordinators know that. But it's tough playing a zone because Trevor can pick that apart, and he's got such smart receivers to work with. So basically what you hope to do, and I think this applies both ways tonight, is stop the run on first down, make it 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, get your hands up. And in the case of Cody and in the case of Trevor, it's tough to get to them too. Cody because he's elusive, and Trevor because he gets rid of the ball so quickly. So if you blitz Trevor, he's going to get you. If you play man coverage, he's going to get you. If you play zone, he in conjunction with the smart receivers he has are going to pick it apart. So you got to hope you can get them in second and long and hope for a mistake.
Joined by Rob Vance, I'm taking a look at the Elks and the Riders getting going tonight, 7:00 out at Mosaica. Rob, I wanted to ask you, just because you've been around the league for a long time, and last week we saw a few new things with the new rules, the 2-point shootout, and we also see the Tiger Cats winning a game on a missed field goal with no rouge. What did you make of both of those games, and do you like kind of the direction that the CFL is going with those?
Yeah, I love it. I remember the first overtime game in league history and in regular season history in 1986. It was the Rough Riders in Hamilton. It was a 21-21 tie. The teams played 2 5-minute periods, still didn't resolve the game, and it goes in the books as a tie. July 28th of 2000, they had 4 overtime periods and 4 overtime possessions. And it was a 52-52 tie after you played well over 3 hours. To me, it's long overdue to resolve a game that way. It's almost like going to penalty kicks, and I think that's ingenious. I'm 2 years ago, the Rough Riders played in Toronto, and Toronto missed a field goal, and then went sprinting off the field in jubilation because they'd won a game on a missed field goal. And that one, especially in the States, there was a lot of I think it might be overstating it to say it went viral, but it was shown quite a lot in the States, and people down there going, what is this, right? And so I think now, ironically, it was the same kicker who missed the field goal last week in that game. Maybe the equilibrium at work here, but I think those are two things that were, in a way, low-hanging fruit that have been addressed. I'm just very glad to see it. I wish it had been in effect 2 years ago when the Riders played Toronto.
I'm with you, though. I'm with you. I do remember that night. I was Barstool and a bunch of American social media accounts had a lot of fun with that one. And yeah, I think it was nice to see that cleaned up. I will say, though, for a long time, I never got the reluctance from head coaches just to punt the ball through the end zone to win a game that way. I always thought, why not? Just to embrace the rule. But I'm glad some changes were made. And Rob, really appreciate you doing this today. Enjoy the game tonight. It's going to be really emotional, and hopefully we get a good game.
Yeah, I share that hope. I really thank you for your time. It's been great to chat with you.
Great. That is Rob Vanstone. He's covered the Riders for a long time and the CFL, of course, writing at riderville.com. Declan, you're CFL super fan. Were you on board? Did you like the changes, the things we saw last week with a team not winning a game on a ruse or tying a game, and then the overtime shootout?
My goodness. It felt like I finally woke up from a 29-year nightmare, Connor Howley.
Fever dream's over.
No, it's like that was... we actually disagree on this because I know you and Jason have the same take that you don't think the league is being moved to a little bit more Americanized. I do. But that rule, I cannot overstate how far the league hit that one out of the park. Like the fact that you could miss a field goal and conceivably win a game was just so ridiculous. The fact it's been eradicated, I think it's unbelievable for the league. And by the way, all those Americans like John Boy Media who taken a break from baseball to dunk on us and Barstool, they were right. They were right to dunk on us for how stupid that was. And we finally got it right this season, so I'm very happy to see it.
Being that kicker, you'd be happy you won, your team's happy, but you'd be like, damn, I still didn't do my job.
That's what I'm saying. How can you even be happy if you're that kicker? Why are we rewarding you for failure?
It didn't make any sense, but hey, we'll see what happens. I am going to miss the missed field goal returns. We'll still get a couple. It still happens in the NFL. We'll still get a couple, but definitely not going to happen quite as often. That was the CFL report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, it's another edition of Thirsty Thursday. Stephen Bazan here from Sherbrooke Liquor. He's doing the social media. He's got the pictures coming here. Cider looks delicious. We'll discuss it next. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, and Donovan Paulson sitting in, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta-exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
Hurry in for hot summer savings at Wolf GMC Buick. Take advantage of 0% purchase financing for up to 72 months on select new 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 pickups. 0% purchase financing for 36 months on select new 2026 Sierra 2500 Denali and Denali Ultimate models. Plus, huge cash savings on GMC Sierra heavy-duty trucks. And ask about the $1,000 truck trade-in bonus and low-rate lease offers. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy. WolfGMCBuick.com.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Faber. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Faber Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Faber, we've got your back.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of CanTorque. CanTorque has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
For over 60 years, the folks at Diablo Boots have been selling the best Canadian-made boots. Handcrafted in Winnipeg, Canada West makes the best quality cowboy, biker, and work boots for Diablo Boots with replaceable soles and heels. Why buy cheaper quality like Ariat, Justin, and Red Wing made in China when Canadian-made is better? Support Canada's workers and Diablo Boots for the best boots. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Canada West and Diablo Boots, the two best names in the boots business.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for the jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loaders with ASV Posi Track at Emerald Equipment.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
So here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Go have some fun there. Remember, use your game sense, of course, but if you go there, PlayAlberta.ca/sports, on the left-hand side, you go Jason Gregor Show. We've got some boosts there. I did a couple. Elks to win and over 57.5 points. The Riders have given up points in the past, so they're susceptible. The Elks, we'll see. The Riders have a good offense, but still taking the Elks to win. That's plus 353. Declan's selects. Riders to cover 4.5 points. Trevor Harris, 2+ touchdown passes, and Emilius, 85+ receiving yards. Boosted. That's Declan's pick, not mine. I would never. But go to PlayAlberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. So right now it is time for another edition of Thirsty Thursday, brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. 2 locations. Of course, the OG location, 118th St. Albert Trail Northwest, and Southside, 9271 50th Street Northwest. At both great locations. Stephen Bizon joins us. Steve, how you doing?
I'm good, Connor. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah,
I'm
excited.
really good.
We haven't done this segment together before.
Oh, this is the first. Yeah, I think
first time.
I got to do it a couple of times, and I was a little nervous. I'm like, oh man, I'll be buzzed for the rest of the show.
Yeah, well, we did tequila last week with David, so I think you dodged a bullet.
There. Yeah, I saw the social media post this morning. I saw the ciders. I was like, this is a good one, and I'm looking forward to it. Like, there was a period I remember when I was younger, I went through a big phase, and so did my buddies. Like, we'd go out, everyone's grabbing some ciders. Yeah. They're easy going, especially if you're out at the lake.
Yeah,
can't go wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was gonna ask like what your feelings are on cider, because we've seen it. It's been an interesting sort of up and down. Like, since I've been at Sherbrooke about 15 years now, so I've seen kind of trends come and go. And about a little over a decade ago, cider was like one of the fastest growing liquor categories out there.
Yeah.
I think it's gluten free, so that was part of it at the time, but it's just it's super easy drinking. Then we found, as soon as things like hard seltzers and ready to drinks and coolers, when those started to rise, we started to see less and less people drinking cider. So it was like falling drastically. But interestingly enough, the past couple of years, we've seen it really bounce back. And I think a big part of that is too, and we'll see as we go through the lineup, is it's kind of having a similar sort of moment that craft beer had like 10 years ago. There's lots of local producers making really cool stuff, getting really adventurous, different flavors, making cider really interesting. Because I think a lot of people, when they think of cider, it's just, fizzy, some of the big brand name stuff that's like pretty sweet and just kind of like apple juice for adults sort of thing. But hopefully as we go through this lineup, we could see, how diverse cider is and all the fun stuff that's happening right now. So we could dive into the first one.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, over on this side here.
We're going here. Okay.
Yeah, I always do opposite, but it's so this one, if you're a craft beer fan, speaking of craft beer, this one comes from Blind Man Brewing out of Lacombe.
Okay.
And they're one of my favorite Alberta breweries, one of the best to do it in the industry right now. But they're getting into the cider game a little bit here too. So this is their modern cider. So modern cider, it's kind of it's an emerging style of cider. If you look at the Canada Beer Cup, for example, which is a big awards gala show for craft beer, and they also have categories for different segments like cider. Modern cider is what makes it different is they use cider apples they use apples that you're probably familiar with from the grocery store. So like eating apples. So like ambrosia, pink lady, like Macintosh, that sort of thing. Whereas traditionally, and we'll see on the end when we have our Normandy cider is usually made from like really small, bitter, acidic, like tannic apples that you don't eat at all. But with this modern cider, you have all those familiar names. So again, you always want to take a look at what you're drinking. Look at it's super light. Like it's got a little bit of a golden tinge to it, but it's very clear, like just like almost watery. So it's going to be a super light one, and you could just take a smell. Yeah, and you get that nice, like you get a little bit of that apple juice quality to
Trying to follow your moves here.
It's like, you can swirl it up a little bit. Yeah, smell. You got to go through the whole process. Now we could sip. And with these modern ciders, you'll notice it's like super light, super quenching, especially on the finish. It's like up front, you get a nice sort of acidity, that apple juice quality, but it just finishes super dry and very refreshing. So that's kind of a benchmark of this style and sort of a good entry point. We'll get more sort of experimental and adventurous as we go along this lineup, but this is a good sort of intro for people looking to get into craft cider. It's awesome, and you'll see it on tap. It's on tap at a lot of really popular establishments here in the city now, so it's starting to get quite a following. So
I do like the name drop. I worked in a produce department for about 8 years. The Max I didn't love, but Royal Ambrosia, they just damage so quickly. The amount of times you squeeze it and the finger goes right through, I was like, I'm done with these.
Yeah, it's like I like ones that are a little tart too, and like a little sweet. So yeah, it's cool because you could get some of those different flavors. You might recognize it as you have a cider like this.
For sure. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah,
easy going.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm curious. Once we get through the lineup, I want to hear what your favorite is too.
Sure.
I'm super curious. So that was the Blind Man modern cider. Now we're going to Calgary. This is Uncommon Cider. Now these guys, they were the first craft cider company in Alberta. To open up. So they've been doing it for years now. They do a really, really good traditional dry cider. This one's a little bit different. So it's called the tropical cider. As you'll see, it's a little bit hazier, got a little bit more color to it. And on the nose, it's to me quite different on the nose. You don't get as much of that appley character to it. You do get do you get any tropical?
Yeah, I was kind of thinking
notes?
like a nectarine or something.
Yeah, nectar. Yeah, totally. Yeah, like some more fruity notes and like a little bit guava, mango, like all that sort of stuff. So most people, when they see this, they think it's other tropical fruit juice added to the apple cider base, but it's actually they use all beer hops.
Okay.
So it's straight up apple cider. And then they dry hop it with Citra hops, Mosaic, all these different beer hops that have that tropical juicy quality to it. But again, on the palate, it's kind of the common thread. A lot of the ciders now are dry, and that's what people are looking for. There's still a place for those super sweet ones and still a market for it, but most commonly when people are coming in looking for cider at Sherbrooke, they're like, we want a dry cider. So this fits the bill nicely and kind of demonstrates that a bit of experimental edge to it, and a really good crossover for people who are beer fans and maybe want to check out a local craft cider and see if they like it. This is the perfect one.
And both of these 5.5%. So you're getting the bang for your buck as well.
Yeah,
get the feeling.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you'll see most of them sit in that like 5 to 6% range, and this one to me like a lot more sweet. On the palate.
That's really good. Actually.
Yeah. So that's really nice. So like with the modern cider from Blind Man, really crisp and refreshing. This one's got a little more weight to it, a little more substance, a little more sweetness. So now we can move on to number 3. You'll see this one's markedly darker, kind of more of an amber color. So this is from True North Cider, who originally they're from Camrose. They just got taken over by a couple who run Prairie Bear Cider, which is going to be our next one. We'll get into them after, but they're out of Lac St. Anne County, kind of by Alberta Beach.
Okay.
And so this is a good example of a little more experimentation when it comes to cider. So they infused this with Earl Grey tea from a local tea company called the Tea Girl. And if you're like, have you had Earl Grey tea?
Yeah. My wife's a big tea fan.
Okay. So. Yeah. So like London Fogs and that's that sort of note to it. So right off the nose, especially after it warms up a little bit, I get those aromas a lot more. So that bergamot is just up front, and it's a lot of people don't. I was actually quizzing some of our staff members today at do you know what bergamot is? And some people did, some people didn't. It's actually a citrus fruit.
Oh, really?
Grown in Italy, and it has that very perfumey, like very distinctive smell to it.
I was just smiling and nodding to act like maybe I did know, but no, I had no idea.
I didn't want to put you on the spot there at all, but yeah, this one's like, it's really interesting. So to me, on the palate, way more acidic. Like you get that bright tartness to it, but then it's balanced by that vanilla, that tea quality. It's a little less carbonated than the other ones, but you really get that nice sharp acidity to it. That to me, it's more akin to like a really traditional French cider, which we'll see at the end. But yeah, it's just like a great balance of flavors to me. Super flavorful, super bright.
It's it still has the cider taste, but not as much as the first two.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And you'll see, again, these places aren't afraid to, push the limits a little bit and see what different flavors they could infuse in there. So yeah, moving on to number 4. Again, this is Prairie Bear Cider. Started by a couple, Kelly and Brett, who Kelly is a doctor and Brett is a heavy duty mechanic.
Okay.
But they just fell in love with cider production and making cider. When Kelly was in her residency, they started just foraging apples and making cider kind of just as a hobby. But now they're full on in it. They have a whole, they grow all their own fruit on their farm, but in the Lac St. Anne County, and they just planted an apple orchard a few years ago. It's not quite ready to harvest and make their full production, but they grow all the other fruits, and eventually the long-term goal is to make all the cider directly from like farm to table. So it's a really, really interesting story. All the other ones we had, they would import the apple juice from BC or elsewhere, but these guys are going for, their own farm grown ingredients, which is really cool.
That's awesome. Like, you want to support a couple good people.
Yeah, it's
Go buy this
a
one.
cool story, and they're huge on the local farmers market circuit. So if you're ever at the local farmers markets, you may have seen their booth there. And we were one of the first stores to start carrying their stuff on the retail level. But this is their cherry rhubarb cider. So apple cider infused with cherries, and then that tart rhubarb. I mean, everyone's familiar with rhubarb. It's the prairie backyard fruit that everyone grows. But
I mean, I think if you serve this to me blindly, I might not even said cider.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah.
You know,
because it's got
don't
such a
trust my
unique-
palate, but
No,
I always think apple or something like that. This is different.
Totally. Yeah. It's got that, really like it's got that cherry up front. So almost like cherry pie quality to it. And then that sharp tartness on the end. Really, really, really nice. I like that one a lot. So those first four, those were all local Alberta cider companies. Now we're moving a little bit farther away. We're going to Nova Scotia now. So we're going to crack open the Bulwark Orchard Peach cider. So this comes from the Annapolis Valley in Nova Scotia, which their apple orchards date back to the 1600s. Like it predates Canada as a country, but it certainly predates Alberta. French and English settlers would plant the apple orchards there centuries ago. So the story has that deep history to it. And the guy behind Bulwark, he's actually a winemaker. And he approaches making cider very similar to wine. So he focuses on, he's very, very purposeful, really does unique things with fermentation, and just carries over his wine expertise into the cider world, and like focuses on terroir and like all that different stuff. And they make, so this is their peach, which is probably their most popular, and it's a good sort of entry into real craft cider. I think that's why they still make this peach version. They do a more traditional one as well, but people really love, and you could tell right off the nose, it's just got that like almost fuzzy peach candy kind of vibe to it.
That's big for me.
Yeah, you could take a sip. Probably the most sweet out of the bunch, I would say. Yeah, you do get that like.
Could be dangerous.
It could be dangerous.
It goes down pretty easily.
Yeah, this one goes down super easy, but it's like the level of, again, like craftsmanship and artisanal methods and things that go into it it's really, really cool. So that's from Nova Scotia. So now we're going even farther. Now we're going to finish off with the Sassy small batch number 6. It's a fancy bottle. It's got like handwritten, it says batch number 6 on there, 2024 vintage.
Oh,
so we're getting fancy. I was looking for some of the stemmed glasses out there, and I couldn't find any. We need like a wine glass for this one. So this one is it's from the Normandy region in France. And you can kind of think of, I mean, when you think of Scotch, you obviously think of Scotland. Beer, you might think of Belgium or Germany, but with cider, you should really think of Normandy specifically. That's kind of like the mecca, the region for really fine cider. So this one, it comes from Sassy is just it's not like a tongue-in-cheek name. It's like the name of the chateau that it comes from, and it's run by a family that their roots are like noble Normandy family roots. And it was started back in 2013. It was 2 brothers in that family, kind of took a look at how cider was doing. And it was always sort of seen as this old fashioned drink, especially in that region. And meanwhile, there's all the exciting craft beer stuff going on and unique things with wine. And they really want to rejuvenate cider and bring it to a new audience. And so they started this cider company here. And this one, you'll see it's just like, I think you can just tell by looking at it that it's just so well crafted. You get more of that foam on it, and just the appearance. It's like this glowing, beautiful amber color. Usually the Normandy ciders are a little more rustic, like very just very kind of sophisticated, and like you could approach it more like wine, and you could serve it at the dinner table, and just really take in all the flavors. So we could take a little smell here. You'll see it's like quite a different aroma. So that's very typical for a Norman cider. And again, we kind of benchmarked it. So we used the grocery store apples with the Blind Man, and now these ones are those small, tart, acidic that you don't eat them. They're just used for cider production. Those types of apples. And we could go ahead and dive in and take a sip.
Yeah, when you smell it, it seems a little more subtle. It's not like that's a cider. Like it's just
it doesn't have that like straight up juice box apple sort of quality to it. But this one it's extra brut, so that's the driest sort of style that they make. And yeah, you get that again. There's just that complexity and that like the textures of it. It's like it's just super well made. Just very indicative of that style, and it's one of my favorite styles too because I like that more rustic, like almost earthy quality to it, the acidity. And you probably notice after finishing, you get some of that tannic sort of like it kind of feels like your mouth is drying out a little bit.
Big time.
And that's the same thing when you're drinking wine, especially red wine, all the tannins and stuff like that's just part of the structure and part of the experience. So yeah, that kind of takes you through a range of what modern craft cider is like, and then ends with the traditional Normandy stuff. And yeah, I'm curious to see, like, do you have a favorite out of the?
Yeah,
I
do. I do. For those who might be curious, it's the Orchard Peach.
Oh, the Orchard
to me,
Peach.
like,
yeah.
Dangerous to me is good. Like that means I could
you could
put
just
it
like
back and
totally. Yeah, that's awesome. And they do Bulwark does really great non-alc ciders too.
Oh, really?
They have a peach version and their regular just straight up apple version. And that's in Prairie Bears, same thing. They do a non-alc version. So if you are not drinking alcohol, there's lots of tons of great options out there too for the non-alc stuff. So lots to go through, lots to pick from for sure.
A lot of companies being more aware of that. Hey,
big time.
Take that non-alcoholic option as well.
It's such a huge part of our business.
Yeah.
Still, yeah, it's amazing to see. So
good to have.
Great.
Well, thanks for coming in. What's your favorite?
My favorite, I got the Normandy one. I love it.
The classy one.
Yeah, the classy one.
So people can pick these up both locations, 118th St. Albert Trail, and then also Southside 92nd and 50th Street. For those who don't know, think Otwell.
We always say the Otwell location. That's always what we say. Yeah,
perfect.
Absolutely.
Awesome, Stephen. Thanks a lot for coming in today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Another great edition of Thirsty Thursday. Gregor, I think we'll take the reins next week. Actually, it might be me once again.
Okay, yeah. I'll be back next week. We'll probably just jump into some beers next week. So
beautiful. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. There you go. Another great edition of Thirsty Thursday here on the Jason Gregor Show. You can always go to SherbrookeLiquor.com, and any questions, shoot them into 1-833-401-1440. Coming up next, special guest in studio for the CanTorque Race Report. And I think we might even get into a few more things. Maybe the 2-minute warning. We'll see if Tater has it ready for you. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Hallie, Kruger, Don, and Paulson with you here right now. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Go Auto. Shop over 17,000 vehicles at goauto.ca with 31 new vehicle brands and 73 locations to choose from. Find your car at goauto.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Scores around the majors. Jays currently in the Rays 3-1 in the top of the 8th. Finals from earlier saw the Braves over the Padres 6-5 and Twins over the Guardians in extras 3-1. D-backs and Cardinals set to go in about 12 minutes, and the Royals and Tigers at 4:40. CFL Week 8 gets going tonight. Edmonton and Saskatchewan 7 p.m. kickoff out in Regina as the 5-1 Elks take on the 4-1 Rough Riders. And news from around the sporting world as the Chicago Blackhawks bringing back franchise icon Patrick Kane on a 2-year, $16 million deal. And the Columbus Blue Jackets and Red Blues reaching a 3-year, $15 million deal before the arbitration hearing. I'm Declan Kruger. This is the Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Okay, new strategy. I'll just live in the freezer till October. There's spacious in here. It's spacious.
There's a better way to survive the coming AC season. Pro Solutions is your one-call solves-it-all expert for AC repairs, tune-ups, and new installations. We offer convenient financing options and fast appointments so you can enjoy your entire home, not just the freezer.
Now I can leave the frozen peas where they belong.
Book now at ProSolutionsInc.ca.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant in the Silent Ice Center, just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Savor exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails in a stylish, modern atmosphere. Perfect for a casual meal or a special night out. Summit offers a refined experience where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Make Summit Restaurant your destination tonight.
50-50-50. Right now at Papa John's, you order carry out, you get 50% off the pizza, loaded with the toppings you love. You want pepperoni? You got it.
You want the works? Done. Always made with our fresh, never frozen dough. Half the price for the pizza you already love. When you come grab it, just use promo code CO50. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. 50% off regular menu price pizzas. Carry out only. Use promo code CO50. Participating locations, restrictions may apply.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers The Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Your co-op grow team are your local experts because we live here too. Our agronomic specialists stay up to date with the latest research and technology to help support your entire farm operation. As your crops fill and mature, we're here to help you assess crop health, manage pre-harvest applications, and make informed decisions for a successful harvest. Co-op, we're all growing together. Here for your farm, here for your family. Talk to your co-op grow team today.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned, over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
You're a rich girl and you're gone to.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in the technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Of course, Elks Riders in action. You can check the Gregor Show special up at PlayAlberta.ca/sports. Maybe you want to do the Lotto Max, $25 million tomorrow. Or hey, the 649 Gold Ball Jackpot, $36 million on Saturday. Just remember, use your game sense. You can always reach us 1-833-401-1440. Or email me, connor@sports1440.ca right now. A little earlier, a little more importance today. We got the special guest in studio. It is the CanTorque Racing Report, brought to you by CanTorque, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at cantorque.com. Of course, we have Colin Livingston and veteran driver Alex Tigliani joining us in studio. Boys, welcome to the studio. How's it going today?
How's it going, man?
Hi. Back to your normal spot, CL?
Yeah, I mean, it's... now that I've become like a bona fide watcher, listener, honestly, I wasn't for a long time because I'm just not a big sport ball fan. But over the years, become big fans of yours, Tommy, and the rest of the crew. And now, seeing you get to take my seat, on your little slot with Tommy in the morning, it's kind of nice to kind of reclaim my territory here.
So the Livingston Memorial, although you're still alive, we won't memorialize you yet, but
I'll take it, man.
Hey, one day.
As long as they're talking about you, it's a good thing.
Alex, you've been here a few times. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much.
We will get into that for sure. And I want to ask you guys a lot of different things because, Colin, of course, you're spotting. And for those of you who maybe haven't heard this thing before, you've talked about the duties, but we'll dive into it. And I want to get in like the lead up to the race for sure. But maybe for those who didn't hear about it, big win for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, last week, Calabogie Motorsport Park, only the second time NASCAR Canada has been at the facility. Our first race was last year. The group that runs the track, they poured a truckload of money in. One of the greatest racing facilities we have in the entire country. The issue last year was that the racing surface was just gone. Like there was no asphalt left. It was just the aggregate. It had been so worn. And you got to, you were on the surface in two different cars all weekend, but the surface now is just perfect.
Yeah, it is. I mean, like Colin says, is a beautiful facility, a beautiful track to race on. And now with this resurfacing that they've done using high quality racetrack asphalt, I mean, when you're racing it on with a race car is really fun to drive, and it makes it for really good action on track as well.
I wanted to ask you, so when you're in this race, is there the equivalent of being in the zone? Like, do you feel like, all right, today, few laps in, I'm feeling good about this race. Like, I got a serious chance here.
I think it's just a combination of a lot of things, right? So when you play, like even if hockey is a collective sport, you're still one individual on the ice. Mm-hmm. And unless you're sick, I mean, you'll be able to extract your talent. If you have talent, you'll be able to showcase what you're made of, even if you lose 3-2, right? Yeah. In racing, it's a bit different. In racing, like you could be pretty good as a race car driver, but if you don't have the machine and when I say about the machine that's when we get to the racetrack. But prior to that, there's so much work that has to be done to get the machine in that, in that space. Is it going to be good? Is it going to have like what sort of balance is going to have understeer, oversteer? Is the car going to be adapted to the track? What sort of weakness it will have? You never have like a perfect race car, but the weaknesses, is it going to be less than others? And are you going to be able to extract what you can do behind the wheel of a car? And that's the tough part, So it's when you get to the track, there's a lot of things that have been done prior to that, and then when you're at the track, then it's only when you feel the car that you could say, today, like I have a shot at it because, the car feels good, mm-hmm. right? And the machine is going to give me what I need to fight. So you can only feel that you're going to have a chance because the car is good. And then if the car is good, then you have a fighting chance. Like counting the chickens before they hatch, that's never good in racing. And if everything goes well and, you're a bit lucky as well, overall, you can win. But you definitely need the machine to win, And last weekend, we had that. We had a car that was good off the truck. Practice, the car was good. The guys made a few changes, upon what I felt that the car really needed. And then in the race, the car had that. And then we were able to fight at the front and come away with the win.
And so much is really it's guessing. Like, for a driver, and I'm not going to speak on behalf of Alex, but obviously I know him fairly well, that it's about confidence. And it's not necessarily that you've got to have the confidence that the car's going to be great when it rolls off. It's that you've got the confidence knowing that when you talk to your crew chief, he's going to know what you're saying and be able to interpret it. Because when Alex says the car's like pushing like a dump truck, well, that means almost a different thing than if, a guy like Kevin Lacroix says that. Not that one's better or one's worse, but to be able to interpret exactly what that driver says so that the driver has the confidence in knowing like, okay, right now the car's not good, but I know the guys are going to make it better, so that you're not over adjusting and over ramping. And then the other part of it is like what I do with Alex is, to have the confidence to know that when, at Calabogie, I can only see a section of the track. I can't see everything, but hopefully Alex knows that when he's in my section, like he's going to know exactly what's going on. He's going to know where the guys are, where the issues are, so that if there's I hope he's not thinking about where the problems are, because if there's a problem, we already know about it. So, just to be able to run freely. I know some of the other guys they don't have that relationship. They don't have that confidence with their spotter because, I don't want to chuck anyone under the bus, but there's one, we know of a couple of guys that basically argue with their driver and say like, no, I don't want to do that because, you should be able to see what's going on. Like, whoa, wait a second. If the driver's saying, tell me what's going on, you just do it. So, yeah.
And it could be telling you what's happening, but it's also on a more technical side. You want to know, if someone sees from the outside some weaknesses, because you don't see that. You have the car in within yourself. And then sometimes it could be tricky because you really don't have a good car, but actually nobody else has have a good car, right? So you're trying to get the best car of bad cars that are out there. And it could be a trend from the race course. It could be just something in the corner that you cannot fix. And then you have to live with that. So the comments or what somebody could see is very important to make decisions. And if you feel that you have a bad car, and like Colin say, they realize, how bad it is, they're going to address it and they're going to fix it. The worst thing that could happen is that someone thinks that your comment is just like 5%, and they'll go, wow, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Because then if we're not fine, then that's no good, right?
Yeah. There must be ultimate trust between the two of you right here. What he says goes. So, Colin, can you give us an example of something you might say to Alex?
I'll give you the best example.
Sure.
Right? So basically, like the last.
See, what's really cool is this is going to prove that he actually listens to what I say.
Yeah, and in the race, I don't speak much. I listen a lot, and I don't speak much. When I speak is because I ask, question, things that I want to know, the pace, our pace versus the other guys. Because, for example, like, let's say someone tells me, okay, you just did like a 1:11.0, and some other guys have done a 1:10.7, okay? So I'm 3/10 off the pace there, but I know what I have in my hands. So if I decide to push, I'm going to push, but I know there's 10 laps to go, and I can basically push as hard as I can, but I know within those 10 laps, I'm not going to destroy the tires, where I will go from a 10.7 to match, but then in 5 laps, I'll be in the 11s, right? So that information. But what you were asking before that is, if you go into a corner where you set up in a certain way, where you open the door to have the best line for the next to, right? So if you start becoming defensive to protect that first sector, then the second sector is going to be really bad, right? So there's going to be a time in the race where you need to drive maybe a little bit of a different line, and someone in your ears is going to basically tell you, he comes in on entry, one car, half a car, one car, 2 cars on exit. So now this type of information tells you that the way you drove, right, you allow someone to gain on you on the entry phase, but you gain in the other sector. And then you make your choice inside without talking, without really making it known on the radio.
Yeah.
But you make your choice where you want to force the issue. And the last lap of the race, maybe the last sector, you will force the issue so someone doesn't come to half a car of your bumper. Even if you mess up the second part, doesn't matter, it's the end of the race. So this type of information is so important because it really sends you into a direction of how you want to drive and how you want to push. And you need to push for 50 laps or 60 laps, depending on the length of the race. And it's the one that's going to have the best race over 60 laps, not the one that's going to score the best lap time.
Yeah.
So how you push and what you have in hand is really important, but it all comes from the information you get. You don't get information, you do things that maybe are not important at that time, and it could basically change the outcome of the race.
Colin Livingston, Alex Teglani joining us here on the CanTorque Racing Report on the Jason Gregor Show. So, Colin, are you trying to be efficient with your words? I mean, I hear you on the radio. You're very well spoken. Are you trying to make sure, like, okay, few words as possible, got to convey all the information, make sure I'm not stammering or anything like that? Like, is that it? Just get in, get out, provide the information, and shut up?
Without question. Road course is a little bit different because, you know, if I'm talking to Alex on the main straightaway at Mosport, okay, we've got, 5-6 seconds where he's just driving in a straight line. And not to say that he's not doing, but he's just driving in a straight line unless we're in traffic. So, like, I can tell him that I'm eating a sandwich. I can tell him, it's way more.
That never happened, but anyway.
Never happened. But, it's a little like, and straightaway is generally when the crew chief wants to talk. So he'll kind of do a little bit more. But, what we're going to be doing this weekend, at EIR and Wetaskiwin, it's a 1/4 mile oval. And, I make the joke every year that it's only got one corner because you're always turning left. When you come out of turn 4, you turn up to the wall, you unload a little bit, and you start turning into turn 1.
The
like
steering wheel is never straight.
You never get a break. So at Wetaskiwin, it's not long conversations. It's as quick as you can get it. Like, we're leading, the 74 is coming. 74, I'll let him know who the car is, because when I give him the car number, we don't have time to say the guy's name. 74, he knows who 74 is. He knows how the 74 typically races. So he goes into that defense. If it's another driver, it's maybe going to be a little bit more aggressive or a little bit,
But some of these information, right? Some people don't realize how impactful they could be on some decision you take, right? Some spotter would basically say, in your bumper, in your bumper, in your bumper, and you're looking left, left side, or inside, or outside. Well, that is not enough information to me, right? Because then there's a break, and then you come into the pits, and then you need to understand, like, okay, you need to make a change on the car. So when someone was behind you, you need to know, like, because it's always a compromise. A car is a compromise. You give up on entry, you get better exit. You give up on exit, you have, stronger entry. So when you're going to make the change at the pit stop, if you know that, like the weaknesses was at that particular point, then what you're trying to fix is that, but you're also fixing it at 50% or at 100%, because somehow if you go too aggressive, your fix is going to cause consequences on the other side. So that's why these type of information, like, or how he's coming in, or, how far deep he's getting, those type of things are important, because they're not just, oh, I'm telling you where the guy is. Okay, yeah, I know where the guy is now. But, we need to fix the car, and we need to improve, for the second race or the second part of the race. And how we do that, it's all these things, they're in your ears now. So when the crew chief comes in and say, you want to make a change? Yes. What do you want? Then you'll tell him, I want this change, or I want this change, because what's important to fix in the car, right? And it comes from.
And usually you don't tell them what the change is. You tell them, we got to fix this oversteer. We got to fix, like, the car just pushes under braking. Okay, they know how to make that change, but yeah, like Saturday, it's like, it's either you're continually on the mic because so much is happening, and you could be racing a car for 5 laps, 10 laps, because, if a guy gets a little bit to the inside, it makes everything difficult. Like, you can't run where the grip is, but you've got the position. They can't drive out because you're in the way. So you kind of end up getting stuck together. Either you back out, and, that's a thing that I'll say to Alex all the time. Like, if it's too early to get racing, I'll let him know, like, okay, the 74 is looking, and I don't know why I'm giving Kevin so much credit. Maybe
because we raced last weekend with him.
Because Kevin was so good to us last weekend, but there's a gap behind the 74 if you want it. Yeah. Which that leaves the decision entirely in Alex's hands, but he knows, okay, We're only at lap 50 of 150. Now's not the time to take chances. I'm going to settle in. I'm going to follow him and see what he's doing. And I know, like, okay, yeah, I lost one position. It's not the end of the world.
Interesting. Okay, we'll take a breaker. I've got a lot more questions here. We'll get to that. It is the CanTorque Race Report here on Sports 1440 and the Jason Gregor Show. Colin Livingston, Alex Tagliani in studio. The Jason Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
You don't just need property services, you need problems handled. HireGood provides cleanup, debris removal, site monitoring, and safety attendance across Edmonton. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. We resolve real problems for businesses while creating real impact because our team is built on second chances and they show up every day ready to prove it. Visit hiregood.ca or call and mention Jason Gregor for a first-time discount. HireGood. Stable jobs create stable lives.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the Bro Zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Novo Blinds is your home ice advantage for window coverings. Edmonton's own custom manufacturer with over 300 five-star reviews from homeowners, builders, and commercial contractors. Book a free in-home consultation at novoblinds.ca.
The Brick's 55th birthday bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses, or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses, and don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in, the birthday bash ends July 29th at the Brick, saving you more.
There's still time to book your tournament at the Ranch Golf and Country Club.
As one of Alberta's top tourney courses, the Ranch makes hosting fun and easy for any group or business. No matter how unique or unusual, they'll accommodate your vision for an event no one will soon forget.
Start planning your tournament today at their beautifully landscaped course on the outskirts of West Edmonton. On-site event coordinators are here to help, but hurry, availability is limited and booking fast.
Visit theranchgolf.com.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back, leadingedgephysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV with an unfortunate reality of buying an RV new. If you finance the whole thing, you'll owe more than your new RV is worth for like a long time.
In the credit world, they call that upside down on your loan.
That's right, Bob. Same with new cars. You lose about a third of the value when it rolls off the lot, which puts you upside down in a big way. And that's a dangerous place to be, because customers want to sell it and pay off the loan, then realize it's not possible. Sometimes people are so angry about that, they give us bad reviews because we can't help them.
Used buyers don't have that problem.
It's why I love used RVs so much, Bob. You pay fair market value for a quality used RV at No Bull, and it's still worth that much when it leaves the lot. Even if you finance the whole thing, in most cases, you're right side up for the whole term, which gives you options and flexibility later.
And that's No Bull. NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Plus, variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
America.
Welcome back. It's the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. We've got Colin Livingston and Alex Tagliani in studio here. Upcoming event, we got a little giveaway we'll be doing as well. This is our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. Looking forward to opening night, September 18th, and a spectacular 2026-2027 season. Saints Hockey School runs August 24th to 28th. All ages, U9, U11, U13, and U16, sponsored by Energy Crane Service. Why don't we get to that little giveaway, Colin? We've got a couple sets of tickets, plus a very unique opportunity that, you don't just get to do.
So we've got free access for one person, which will be, basically an all-access pass. We'll also provide one of our scanners for someone who can answer the skill testing question. But they'll get to listen, as we've been talking about in the first segment, they'll get to listen to our actual radio conversation between me and Alex and the crew chief. And then, hopefully if, we find a bona fide fan, then hopefully we can also line them up. They'll do some social media posts, or we could do like a little pre and post race interview with them and kind of talk about their experience. But a chance to kind of get, really on the inside.
Little trivia to give it away. How about?
Sure.
So the question, we got two questions.
Okay.
Answer one, you have a chance to win a set of tickets, and also a chance to listen to the team radio. That'll be a separate prize though.
Yep.
Question number one. What car number did you guys win in last week?
Am I allowed to answer?
I mean, if you want to make it easy, you could. That's question number one. You can find it online on social media. Question number two. Alex has been doing some promo work with a former Edmonton Oiler. Not a Hall of Famer, but I would say a legend in his own right.
Absolute Hall of Famer in his category.
Yeah.
Big guy.
One of the toughest.
They can go on Tagliani18 on my Instagram, and they can find those two answers pretty quickly.
Still the greatest radio segment in my lifetime was Rod Phillips discussing a particular encounter with this former Oiler. And they actually played the clip back for him after, like, when he was back home, and he couldn't stop laughing because he's like, is this guy like this all the time?
Yeah.
And it was super, super impressive.
He's awesome. If you listen to our show, he's been on a few times. So let us know. 1-833-401-1440. We'll try to give those away at the end of the segment. Eddie and Leduc on our YouTube channel saying, great to hear Tagliani. Great Canadian drivers back in the day. Moore, Tracy, Villeneuve. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Legend of the sport.
Carpentier.
Those were the good days.
The legends. Okay. So I want to ask you guys this, because you talked about number 74, and you would just say 74, you got some space there. But Alex, you have to know his tendencies, right? So going into a race, how much homework are you guys doing on drivers, and, just trying, maybe it's all from just experience, but is there any like categorizing, like, okay, this guy in this situation likes to get a little bit more aggressive. Don't pass this guy. Do those guys have those stereotypes? Are you doing the homework on them?
I think it's a good question. It all comes down to, again, finding the weakness and the strength on those guys. Because at the end of the day, you cannot go into the race thinking that you're going to be the pin and they're going to be the bowling ball, right? It's not how the race will start, or that's how you start your race. But you're more focused on how good they are on the track, where they could be good on the track, what's their strength, and then you're more prepared to get into the fight, when time comes. So it brings back the same point that we were making before around practices, qualifying. We need to try to see and hear and see what's happening out there, and rarely on road course I've seen a car that is perfect and the guy will dominate and he will be able to be untouchable. I think somehow at some point when there's yellow flags, end of the race, if a car was good at the beginning, he's good on tires, but then, like he's vulnerable on restarts. Those type of things, you cannot predict what's going to happen in the outcome of the race. And the more homework you do and the more things you know about who you're fighting with, then the more you're prepared when time comes.
But yes, drivers do have tendencies. Like I can describe one driver, and I know Alex will know who it is. When we're running on ovals, he's going to be the first guy that will be running the high line.
Yeah, number 27.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Andrew Ranger. Every time, every track, he goes high before anyone, and he gets comfortable because he runs in the place that nobody else wants to run, and he always makes it work.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that comment makes me think where, see, there was a time in Montmagny where in the second race we ended up having to fight, but I was in front of him and I was in front of Alex Labbé, and I ended up losing those 2 places on trying to pass a back marker. And the fact that my car was literally uncomfortable in the I lane, and I was had to run at the bottom. By losing those 2 places against those 2 guys because of a back marker situation, when I end up trying to pass again, it was an impossible task because he ended up using the high lane and he was up there where I needed to come out of the corner. And we played this game for about 25 laps to try to pass, and I couldn't make it happen. So at that particular time, it was extremely important not to lose the place when we caught that back marker. But anyway, it turned out that I was not able to. But when you know that in advance from a driver that's behind you that is using the I lane, you just don't want to get passed by him. Or potentially, if he's very bad at the bottom, when you end up selecting your restart position and he's right behind you, you basically use the high lane and then you let him go down. Because if he's very poor on the bottom, then you potentially have the chance on restart to maintain your position. But if you give him the high lane where he's very strong and you take the bottom on a restart, then you're a sitting duck, right? So strategy comes to having your homework done and know how people are good around you.
It is the CanTorque Racing Report. Connor Halley with Alex Tagliani and Colin Livingston here. We do have the 2 sets of tickets to this weekend in Wetaskiwin. Trivia question: what car did the boys win in last week? What number was it? And also, what promo work former NHLer Alex Tagliani has been doing with just texting that name, 1-833-401-1440. We also got a chance to listen to the team radio,
He's going to be, by the way, at the track.
And he's going to be
the next thing. Yeah.
So people will be able to see how small they are around him.
He's going to be the aforementioned or unnamed former Oiler will be on site Saturday in Wetaskiwin signing autographs, and then we think he's sticking around for the race as well. So
he'll be in the Bet GRW tent. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. I know who it is, and I think Oilers fans will want to get out there.
There should be as big a lineup to see this guy as there is to see the race.
So why not get some free passes and answer the trivia? Okay, I want to just ask you guys a couple more questions here. We have athletes on all the time, and one of those questions is like, what's the game day routine for a hockey player? You might skate, have a big meal, have a nap, and get going. For you, Alex, I mean, you're literally risking your life out there. Like, you have to be locked in, ready to go. So I want to ask you both, and Colin, obviously you have a very responsible or a big responsibility in the race as well. What's the race day routine like for both of you?
For me, if I could choose, it's not always easy like this to choose because you have commitment. But like the more things I have to do, but if I could do them and be by myself, to distract and not think about the race, that's where I'm at my best. So, for example, if I could take an hour before the race to just sit in the lounge and watch Formula One qualifying, then it takes my head out of what I'm going to have to do in an hour. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not really second guessing our choice on setup and things like that. And that's really cool. And it brings everything down and chill. I eat some pasta prior to the autograph session. Like I bring myself like either half a banana and I drink my pre-race electrolyte drink. because it's so hot in those cars, just insane. Like sauna is literally not hot enough to prepare you when you're in those cars. Like the metal, the transfer of heat, the floor, the exhaust, it's just so hot. But yeah, and avoid running around trying to do commitments, prior to the race, because that is very difficult, because you don't like to talk, you don't like to just do all the blah blah, and if you meet a lot of people, you become quiet, and people might have a judgment on your attitude. But it's just because you're mentally not there to discuss, like the way they would like to discuss. So try to avoid, an hour before the race, meeting too many people.
How about you, Colin?
I go through all my gear, make sure that I've got everything, that batteries are charged, because we're running with at least 3 different teams this year. I have to go through and make sure that I've got my radio set to the right. Like my radio has 15 different channel options. I've got to make sure I'm on the right one, because when I'm with one particular, I won't say any of the team names because I don't want to give the answer away, but if I'm with our NASCAR team last week, that's channel 1. If I'm with our team this weekend, it's channel 9. If we're running the Radical, it's channel 11. Make sure that's all done. I try and I crack a lot of jokes with Alex before we get in the car, or before I have to go away. And I always try and talk to our crew chief in this, last weekend, Don Thompson, absolute legend, NASCAR Canada CASCAR driver, now becoming a legendary crew chief, just to find out what, if anything, he wants me to be talking about, what our pit strategy is going to be. I don't like knowing what the pit strategy is, because I don't want to accidentally say something over the radio. If, when you kind of get into, like unconscious speaking, I don't want to give that stuff away, because we do have teams that listen to what we're doing. But yeah, and then try and get to the spotter stand early, so that you're not rushed, and try even as we're doing parade laps, I still try and crack one joke, just because I know if I can get a laugh out of Alex, I know he's properly relaxed and that the radios are actually working. So that's about that.
Alex Tagliani, Colin Livingston joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Okay, favorite driver right now outside of Alex, and favorite driver of all time?
Ooh, not including Alex.
Not including
Okay,
Alex,
so in what series?
Any.
For me, it would have to be Lewis Hamilton and Ayrton Senna. And I'll tell you why. Ayrton was just so dedicated to extract everything from a race car. And I really like that. I like that for myself too. Sometimes the race don't pan out the way you want. The result is not there. The champagne's not there. But if you extract every 10th of a second of the car that you drove, I mean, it's a pure pleasure, and you feel proud of yourself, right? So internally, you get pumped up no matter if you get trophies or not. And Ayrton was that type of guy. Obviously the result is very important too, but like it was always to the limit. And Hamilton, to me, I really, even though I appreciate a guy like Max, because I think he's like a phenomenal talent, but I think Hamilton, why I appreciate him so much is because he went through a lot of things. He's a complete driver. He knows how to help a team. He's technical. Mentally, he's very strong. It's easy to lose it. Like sometimes when you're in a tough spot or when you're in a slump, it's every athlete will tell you like how tough it could be. And I think he's very, very, very strong mentally. And also the reason why I really appreciate him is because he was the first driver that I've seen coming into an interview and starting thanking his team and the team at home and what they have done on the car and the work they've done. And it started a trend where all the drivers ended up talking about their team and not only about themselves. like sponsor teams and all that. So so that's why I ended up like developing some sort of appreciation for him.
Andrew Ranger, absolutely love the guy. I didn't really understand him for a long time, but there were a couple of races, specifically GP3R, about 6-7 years ago. I can't remember if he won or if he had a bad race, but he was parked about 2 motorhomes over from where Tag was. And as we're coming out, he sees us, he recognized me. I'd never really even talked to him. And he's like, hey, he's standing behind a DJ table. And they had about 30 bottles of wine and they're having this party. He's like, come on, guys, let's go. Let's have some drinks. Love the way he drives. Andrew was pretty aggressive in the early days, but he's really matured. He's just a solid dude. Number 2, Pierre-Luc Ouellette. Canada has really done well producing drivers. Pierre-Luc, my opinion, is the best karting driver we've ever produced. He's won the grand finals multiple times. He's come back from a crazy injury where he just about lost his foot. And when he decides that it's time to go racing, there's a lot of words in my head that I know I'm not allowed to say right now, but this is one of the nicest people on the entire planet when he's outside. Even when he's in the cart, he's made contact with people, but he's not an aggressive driver. He just extracts everything out of that cart, and not necessarily from day one, but he'll try crazy things. I've been in the same tent with him a number of times, and we're going to try positive camber. Like, why would you do that? I just want to try it. And he goes and he gets that feel. There's 1,000 drivers I could probably pick, but I have no regret with either one of those two.
Good picks. It's not enough time.
But we'll stay. It's cool.
It's good.
If I didn't have so many segments to get to, I would be all over it.
That was, I think I broke you there for a second.
You did. Well, I thought about it. Calling another segment. Yeah, we can do that probably. But we'll let you guys get out of here this weekend. Edmonton International Speedway, number 80.
Is that the answer?
That's for the answer?
Yeah.
Correct.
And?
I forgot the question.
Big George?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, George Larac, another 27.
Yeah. So Matthew, congrats. We'll make sure we get to you. We got a couple here as well that we're going to get the winners. But number 80, and George Laroc's going to be there on Sunday?
Saturday, yeah. I think, please do not quote me. I believe he's scheduled to be in the Bet GRW tent from 4 to 6, signing autographs. But that might conflict with some of the stuff that's on the track. I'm not sure because I've only got the weekend schedule today, and then I'm not sure what the rest of it is. But come on out. It's only $60. Tickets start at $60. You can get them at Edmonton. I can't remember their website, Edmonton International Raceway. If you search it, I think it's edmontonraceway.com now. And then definitely everyone that comes into the track, there's a public autograph session. So all the cars get staged on the front straightaway. All these drivers have hero cards. So like printed cards, you don't even have to bring anything. You can bring a hat, a shirt if you have it. But otherwise, the drivers will give you a hero card. So it doesn't matter if it's DJ Kennington or Larry Jackson or our friend number 74, Kevin Lacroix. Come on out, get your picture. And I promise, even if you're a casual fan, you've only seen F1 on TV, come on out. You'll never see action like you will on a short oval. It is nonstop.
EdmontonRaceway.com.
There you go.
I looked it up just to make sure.
Thanks, man.
Guys, thanks for coming in. Best of luck, and we'll talk to you next week, Colin.
We'll see you on Thursday.
There you go. The CanTorque Racing Report extended issue with Colin Livingston and Alex Tigliani in studio this weekend. EdmontonRaceway.com for tickets. We'll take a break when we come back. Stats of the day, oil report, we'll do it all. It is the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
The Riverhawks' final regular season homestand is on deck this week. Catch the bobblehead giveaway, a 2K dance party, Margaritaville, and Wizards, Wands, and Magic Night. Don't miss the party. Tickets at GoHawks.ca.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit, no credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
50-50-50. Right now at Papa John's, you order carry out, you get 50% off the pizza, loaded with the toppings you love. You want pepperoni? You got it. You want the works? Done. Always made with our fresh, never frozen dough. Half the price for the pizza you already love. When you come grab it, just use promo code CO50. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. 50% off regular menu price pizzas. Carry out only. Use promo code CO50. Participating locations, restrictions may apply.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job, from home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs. We're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos. For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
You've got better things to do than wait for an oil change. Jiffy Lube gets you in and out fast. No appointment necessary. All you have to do is roll into a location near you, and we'll take care of the rest. Every full synthetic oil change at Jiffy Lube is warranty approved and comes with a 20-point visual inspection, making sure you get back on the road safely. Find your neighborhood Jiffy Lube today. Visit jiffylubeservice.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by eWell. Helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pod lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. ewell.ca, your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Got to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Of course, brought to you by playalberta.ca. Go check out the Jason Gregor Show specials. playalberta.ca/sports. Remember, use your game sense. I had to keep those guys around just a little bit longer, and there was things we could have got into. The race in Edmonton, what happened, what went wrong. But next time, next time we can definitely get into that. And you know what? We had someone who was unable to go to the race that would have been one of our winners. So we'll extend that. Hey, you guys know the answers. Number 80, George LaRock. If you wanted to hypothetically text that in, 1-833-401-1440. We'll make sure we get these tickets to a deserved listener. Congrats to Matthew. You got one set already. Right now, though, let's get to our stats of the day, brought to you by All-Star Construction. Founded in 2009, they specialize in underground utilities, power, gas, telecommunication, and street lighting, shaping and building Edmonton communities. All-Star Construction. And wanted to look into this. Since it is game day and the Edmonton Elks taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders, let's just dig into the history here when you look back at what these two teams have done going head-to-head. And, you know, it's tough to go too far back. I went back to about 1969 to see what these two historic franchises have done when it comes to going head-to-head. And the Edmonton Elks, probably not the most surprising thing. They've had some success versus the Riders. Now, that being said, I'm sure someone will correct me and text in and say, hey guys, it was the Eskimos. That is correct. You are right. But the Edmonton Foundation or organization going back to 1969 has led the series 96-71. No ties or anything like that. That's great. The Edmonton Elks have scored 4,513 points compared to the Roughriders 3,962. Now, it wasn't great for the Edmonton Elks or the Edmonton Eskimos. They started off a little bit slow. They went 1-7 in their first 8. And then the teams kind of went back and forth as they would. And then the 70s hit. And the Edmonton Eskimos totally dominated. They would win 5 in a row, lose. Win 2 in a row, lose. Win 5 in a row, lose. Win 5 in a row, lose. Win 6 in a row. And then the 90s hit, kind of went back and forth. The Elks, Eskimos kind of were better. It was obviously in the Ricky Ray era, Eskimos had a lot more success until the year 2018, when a lot of things went downhill. 8 losses in a row. The Roughriders really found their groove. Eskimos, Elks found their way back into it. And since then, it's been kind of 50-50. So realistically, it hasn't been, as of late, great for the Elks. The Roughriders kind of had their number, as Justin Baloney says, or Balgoni, sorry. Why don't you go back to 2019? Yeah, if I go back to 2019, it's been mostly Riders. But we're talking about the entirety of the history of these two sides. So it's going to be a good one. I mean, I don't know. When you look at the great rivalries in the CFL, obviously you're going to get the Battle of Alberta. You get the Banjo Bowl. But after that, I think that the Edmonton Elks and the Saskatchewan Roughriders are right there. Declan, if I may ask you, I kind of went through it going back to 1969. The Elks do lead the series 96-71, outscoring them 4,513 to 3,962. You're a lifelong Riders fan. Obviously, I'd say Bombers, your number one rival. Do the Elks hold that number 2 spot, or are you putting the Calgary Stampeders there? Is there anyone else, or is it going to be Edmonton?
No, definitely the Elks. Winnipeg a clear number 1, which you mentioned, and I think as expected. But Edmonton a clear number 2.
And that's fair. And like this is, I think potential. I think both of these teams have set it up to be very good for the next couple of years here. Rivals for sure. They've built up their core. They've got the foundational support. Got their coaches. I think we're getting
quarterbacks though.
2 old quarterbacks, yeah. And Cody Fajardo, there was talk of potentially retirement.
Yeah.
Harris has been good though.
He's been very
He's
good.
been really good this year.
He's also celebrating his 83rd birthday in the 4th quarter of tonight's game. So
good for him though. Good for him. Yes, it's going to be awesome. It's been a very historic series. We're going to get back on track here. Those are the stats of the day, brought to you by All-Star Construction. We're going to get to an update coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. We'll get to the roundtable. Donovan, Declan, they've been studying up. They got their topics they want to get to. We'll get to 5 questions, and we'll also be joined by the regular host of this show, Jason Gregor. But right now, Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. We solve real problems for businesses while creating real impact. We reduce issues on your property, keep spaces safe, and take pressure off your team. Go to hiregood.ca. Hire Good. Stable jobs create stable lives.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Finals from around the majors. It was the Braves over the Padres 6-5, Twins over the Guardians 3-1 in 12, and the Jays getting the win at home against the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1 as well. Right now, Cards lead the D-backs 2-1. Royals and Tigers will be up in about 40 minutes. CFL Week 8 kicking off tonight with Edmonton and Saskatchewan from Mosaic in Regina. A 7 p.m. kickoff for that one. From around the sporting world, the Chicago Blackhawks bringing back Patrick Kane on a 2-year, $68 million deal. Jet Reeves agreeing to a 3-year, $15 million deal with the Columbus Blue Jackets. And the BC Lions announcing today that they have released American offensive lineman Dijon Allen. He made 5 starts for the season at right tackle and is a 2-time All-CFL player. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440 Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Mr. Rooter has deja vu. Mr. Rooter has deja vu.
The bathroom is right over there, Mr. Rooter.
Thank you, good sir. Wait, I swear I've plunged this toilet before. It was clogged with a snow globe. Am I living in a time loop? Oh, good. It's just a voodoo doll that looks exactly like me. Whew, what a relief.
For a plumbing experience you'll want to relive, call Mr. Rooter.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
At GS Construction, people grow with the company. 50 years of experience doesn't live in a binder on a shelf. It lives in our people at every level, passed down on every site. Many of us started with a shovel in our hands and built whole careers here. The work is honest. The company's been around since 1974. So if it all sounds good to you and you want to grow with us, GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and topmen. No shovel required. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
It might have been scraped by the snowblower, dented while door crashing, or crunched at the company Christmas party. At some point over the winter, your car was damaged and it's been hiding under a coat of winter grime.
Then come and see Robertson Body Works. We can take care of the damage and the dirt. This week only, call and book a repair and get a complete auto detailing absolutely free.
But you have to book your appointment before the week is up. Go to robertsonbodyworks.com.
I'm Tim Robertson, and I fix cars.
Experience West of Mabu, the 5-piece Celtic band, and the Celtic Ceilidh Dance Academy as Sherlock Holmes Pub presents the Family Ceilidh on the K97 stage at the Sherwood Park Highland Gathering, Saturday night at 6 in Broadmoor Lake Park. Tickets at sphg.ca.
Not sure where to turn? Remember 211, the number to contact for mental health, addiction, and community supports. It's free, confidential, and available 24/7. 211 Alberta. One number, countless connections.
A message from the Government of Alberta.
This is the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440. Favorite us right now.
Powered by PlayAlberta.ca. If you gamble, use your game sense. Learn more at gamesense.ab.ca.
Oodle Noodle origins. In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as Oodle Noodle.
Portions of this hour brought to you by elksnation.ca. Check out elksnation.ca with articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth Double E football coverage online, elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back to The Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Thank you for following along. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, the Jason Gregor Show daily odds boost at PlayAlberta.ca. Go check it out. We got Run-In Rankin, Justin Rankin, 100-plus rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Let's go. Let's go big on this one. Also, the all Elks, that is Edmonton to win, and the over, because we like the over, 57.5 points. And then Dex selects the Rough Riders cover the 4.5 point spread. Trevor Harris, 2 passing touchdowns, and Samuel Amilis, 85 yards receiving. Declan said that with such conviction that maybe it'll happen. Of course, all those boosted. Remember, use your game sense. PlayAlberta.ca. Right now, we'll get to the roundtable brought to you by Go Auto. Go Auto has donated more than $27.2 million to local charities and takes pride in supporting the communities where they live and do business. GoAuto.ca for those of you who haven't heard. We do the roundtable now where the producer, both producers, in fact, throw a little topic down and we debate it. So, Deck, you ready to go here today?
Yeah, I can start this one off. It's actually funny. Donovan mentioned something about bad contracts in the opening segment. That's exactly where I was going to go. The Athletic, they had an article that came out with the worst contracts in the NHL. I think we would all three probably agree, and maybe I'll get pushback from you guys, that when I think of the 2 worst, I think of Elias Pettersson out in Vancouver getting paid 11.6, and I think of Jonathan Huberdeau in Calgary. Probably Jonathan Huberdeau being the worst. But what I wanted to bring to the table is because the Edmonton Oilers had 2 players in the top 10. There's a possible argument it could be 3. If Darnell Nurse was here, it could be 4. But what I really wanted to bring was, I know the AAV isn't that high. I know it's coming off an injury, whatever. I think Trent Frederick is in that conversation. When we're looking at top 5 worst contracts in the NHL, I think he's right there. I know the number's not crazy. I know the cap's going up, so it's never really going to kill you. But the term versus production just doesn't do what it needs to do for me. So that was the take I wanted to bring to the roundtable today.
Ooh, Deck. I'm out with you on this one. I'm not with you.
Hey, wrong segment.
I know, but I just can't. It's a bad contract.
They're
no
probably
question.
Worse.
But
I can give you that.
Given the lack of real dollars in this contract, it's I know 3.85 or 875, whatever the hell the actual number is not ideal to have eating away at your cap.
It's about 3.87 too much based on on the ice. But yeah,
in all honesty, relative to he's still, what's the actual value of this player? Is it it's
a good question.
Is it $1 million player as what we've seen right now? Yeah, it's probably a league minimum player right now.
Last season, it was league min.
It was league min. Okay, so based on that value, he is $2.8 million overpaid. So now, if I was to pan this over to a guy like Jonathan Huberdeau, is he what? Based on production, he is probably $4.5 million overpaid.
Dude, I was gonna say I would think maybe even get up to.
He was still a 50-point player last year.
He was,
and relative to where the cap's going, a 50-point player is about a $6+ million AAV.
Yeah, but
so
no two-way game.
No two-way game. However, then I'll raise you Bo and Byram.
See,
that is
interesting.
Easily the worst contract in the NHL. I know people have said, "Oh, that's a number 2 defenseman." To me, that's a number 3 defenseman. I think he's frankly a pretty bad pure defender.
You think his is worse than Jonathan Huberdeau and Elias Pettersson
by a mile?
Okay.
The Elias, because the thing about the Elias Pettersson deal, if the Vancouver Canucks eat $3 million, he's just basically getting paid like most second line centers. And would you feel like he's still a 50-point player as a really responsible, strong defensive game? If he's your second line center at $7.5-8 million, I don't think any team in the league is going, "Ooh, this deal sucks." For me, the Huberdeau deal and the Pettersson deal, if each team just ate $3 million, both those players have a substantial amount of value because they can both do really good things for you.
I don't disagree with that, but it just brings up a whole.
But those are 2 of the top 3.
It's so now you're
worst
getting teams to eat money and eat sizable millions to not play for you. And then my other thing is I don't disagree per se, but it's right now Elias Pettersson, he's not he hasn't been traded, and with a dead cap of $3 million towards Vancouver, like he's getting paid 11.6 to play for them. And the other thing with Pettersson and Huberdeau, I like maybe a little bit, but less so, because I think everyone kind of like saw or predicted when he left Florida it was gonna decline, production was gonna decline. But like Pettersson is so far removed from what he was and what we thought he was gonna be. That's why I'm like. That's why to me that one's the worst.
Those are two of the three worst. Yeah. But for me, it's Bowen Byram's the worst.
With Pettersson, the money is not good. Obviously, 2 years removed from a 34 goal season. That's when he signed the contract. I don't know if it was pressure or what, but it's dropped off. But at least you're still getting a 50-point player, right? Like you could trade that player with a little bit of salary retained.
But he's such a strong defensive player. Like he is a second line
guys who can get 50 points who aren't paid 11.6.
Okay, but like yes, he is unbelievably one of the three worst contracts in the NHL. I'm not disagreeing with you there, but I will say, like, if they just eat money, they're going to be able, and assume it, like he now has a no trade, right? So he's in control of his fate. But if you eat $3 million on that contract, which they don't want to do, if they eat $3 million, he is traded like this, like within a snap of a finger.
Yeah, like that's where I was going.
There are the Montreal Canadiens, the New York Islanders. There are so many teams that want a second line center. If that player's down to $8.5 million, he is getting a first round pick plus. I'm telling you straight up.
Are we sure?
Look what Vincent Trocheck got.
I know, but that was
he is a better player than Vincent Trocheck. Trocheck's a good player, but he's a better player than Vincent Trocheck. Will he still be a little bit overpaid at 8.5? Yes, but the cap's still going up. Yeah. And he needs a change of scenery to a team that doesn't have as much pressure as Vancouver. Like, I still think there's a good player in there. Maybe I'm an idiot, but you don't just get to be an 100-point player and then just fall off the cliff. To me, he just needs a change of scenery.
I think one of the biggest things with him too is like on top of everything, obviously terrible situation, like hasn't performed. His just demeanor and body language is so in the dumps.
I know we talk about social media and what social media can do for players and how it can hurt certain guys. He is the perfect example of what people ragging on him for years can do to a player.
Mm-hmm.
That market has killed him.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the room wasn't good either, right?
Too.
And that to me makes it more of a difference. I'm going to throw one at you guys. And this could be totally wrong in 5 years because this guy could become an absolute stud. Leo Carlsson getting $18 million. Just let me finish this. Elias Pettersson, when he got his deal, he had 28 goals, 27 goals, 10 shortened season, 32, 39, 34. Leo Carlsson, 12, 20, 29. Could be on that. Total, the top 2 years of the first 3 seasons, 28, 27 versus 20 and 29. I think Carlson's going to be a stud. But I also thought Pettersson would be pretty good too. And he had the fall off. Not saying it's going to happen, but $18 million, that's one to watch out for if things don't go good in Anaheim.
Yep.
Yeah, like people bring him up all the time and it's fair. It's fair. I'm not mad at it. And it, like also as we see the cap goes up, like expressed as a percentage, like what is his percentage compared to Crosby when he got 8.7 the first time he got that big 8.7 AAV hit, or like OV at 9.5? Obviously, he's not those players. Maybe he grows into it. I can't be mad at that because I certainly think it's possible it doesn't pan out, and I certainly think it's an overpay right now. But it's similar to what you just said with Pettersson. Like I do have some belief, and the way he plays that 200-foot game, I have belief he'll grow into that player. And I think also something like people won't really be able to wrap their heads around the number because like the cap jumped so quick and and it just became a thing that was like right there in front of us all of a sudden. But I think down the line, I'm not going to be out on that one, although I understand that a lot of people would be, and it's obviously a possibility.
Let's wait and see, but I am a huge fan of him. Looks like a great prospect.
He's going to be a great player, but to get value on his deal, you just won't get any value on his deal. Like you're never going to have a year where he is going off, unless he scores 120 points, you're never going to get value on that contract.
Probably fair.
And that would be year 5 where you finally get a little bit of value. Like
if they win a cup, that's value on the contract.
But they're not going to with that. Like look at their defense.
No, I agree with that too.
Like their defense is legitimately, it's like a graveyard. There is just nothing there other than Jackson Lacombe.
Jackson Lacombe and the boys. That's what their defense is right now.
It's the Andrew Walker rec league defense. That's what it is.
They actually signed Andrew Walker today. That's how much they need defense.
It is funny though. Just, I heard the boys this morning talking about like AJ Greer on that Ducks team, and you're like, damn, could he use that 4.25 somewhere else? Bringing it all back. That's how I feel about Trent Frederick with the Oilers. He's got so much time to make it up, but it's like maybe down the road that money comes in handy. They don't have it.
But it's also like you better. Like he was horrible last year. Like I'm so
he was awful.
sick and tired of like, and I love, you guys know how much I love Low Tide and feel like Low Tide has done a lot for me. And Low Tide, if you're listening right now, I love you. But I had to sit there for like 74 games and hear him carry water for Trent Frederick. I'm just like, this guy, like I'm watching the games with my eyes. Like this guy is not good right now. And now do I think he's going to be that bad again? And is there an injury? Like, yes. And will it get better? I think it probably will, but like, there still has to be some basis of what we actually saw happen with Trent Frederick.
There is, but also I think this is a sports-wide thing, is some people don't pay enough attention to actual fit in terms of how a player fits with a coaching style.
Yep. I would agree.
And to me, that's a perfect example of a player who just doesn't necessarily fit with what the previous coach was trying to do. So am I expecting another 15 plus goal season from Trent Frederick? No. But knowing what Mike Babcock does, I'm fully expecting some level of bounce back. Will he provide value on his deal? Probably not. But can he at least get to a respectable level? I'm expecting respectable because Mike Babcock is a forechecker in terms of his third and fourth lines. He wants you to get it in there. He wants some jam. Trent Frederick didn't give you enough jam, but also I don't think Chris Knoblauch's not a guy who wants you to go out there and play with, like he wants jam, but he doesn't, in my opinion, he didn't give those bottom guys the style of coaching to give that jam, if that makes any sense.
Truba at 825 is another one popped in my mind.
Awful deal.
Donnie P, what do you got today? That's been a great one, by the way.
That was a great one. What I'm bringing to the table here today is kind of this Toronto Blue Jays season has been an absolute catastrophe. The person to blame the most for me, you can blame a lot of things, but this season falls on Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and it's really not even close. Like that is target number one for why this season has gone to you-know-what.
Man, you guys know me. I'm not the biggest baseball guy in the world. So as you were preparing to say what you were going to say, I was already preparing my rebuttal, and I was going to be like, nope, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Since that's who you went with, there's nothing left on the table but for me to agree. I don't know how much like Bo Bichette's departure factors in. I guess that would be my number two. But I'm not going to sit here and, act like I am an in-depth analyst on the Toronto Blue Jays or the baseball world, so I'm going to agree.
I mean, yeah. This guy's being paid $40 million this year to provide that presence, right? Be your cleanup guy, get on base, drive players in, not hit the ball to the warning track, hit it out of the park, and he just hasn't done it. And it pains me to say it. I'm a huge fan of the guy. Wish nothing but the best for him. But if you're having to put it on one player, like I'm not putting it on management. They spent money. They went out and got players. I'm not putting it on Schneider. This one falls on the hands of a lot of players. But when you are Vladimir Guerrero Jr., you're the all-star, you're the $500 million man, $500 million, $500 million, you certainly have to perform more than this one. I'm hoping he gets it going. I don't even know what's going through his mind right now. Like he's got to be going crazy trying to figure things out. I think back to the clip that was circulated about Pete Rose talking about what to do when you're in a slump. And it's like, don't change your bat. Don't change your swing. That's what got you there. Move forward, move back, move closer, move away. Like do those sorts of things. Maybe he needs to see that video and follow through, but it has been absolutely awful. Now, if you were putting it on Vlad, okay, he gets the biggest, but there's so many guys, Donovan, you will know better than I do, that like they're not getting a big hit when they need it. They're not making the defensive play when they need it. It just feels like all the things that went right last year are balancing out, and now it's all going wrong.
So I would suggest, yes, last season, what the Jays have shown you was last season was the miracle. Last season was a team that got super, super hot, despite having not a ton of top-end talent other than Vladdy. Obviously, Bo is a top-end player. And George Springer just had the miracle season. Like, that was a miracle run. I just think, like, you can point at so many players, but you have to look at Vlad as you mentioned, the $500 million guy. That's the guy you think's going to get it done for you. But in baseball, it's also really hard to get it done when you don't have any protection around you. And when your main protection from last season in Bo Bichette's gone, as well as your leadoff man in George Springer, who is 12% worse than a league average hitter and he's got 10 homers on the year. You've got Dalton Varsho, who's been pathetic. Like, Dalton Varsho, still a good center fielder, but like, he had 20 homers in limited at bats last season. And this season, he is just fallen off an absolute cliff. For me, Dalton Varsho might be one of the least clutch athletes I've ever seen. In every clutch situation, the guy is just seemingly striking out or grounding out. Went 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position in the World Series. Like, Dalton Varsho is a guy who, in a contract year, has absolutely cratered. Andres Jimenez can't hit a beach ball. Like, the only guys for me who have shown up consistently game in and game out are Ernie Clement and Kaz Okamoto. And then after that, I'm happy with Brandon Valenzuela as kind of your backup catcher. But, like, man, Alejandro Kirk has just been awful. I know he had the injury, but there's just so many guys you can point a finger at this year. I expected regression, but I expected them to more or less be a slightly above 500 team, because I didn't think they were what they were last year. But my God, have things just gone catastrophically wrong at every turn.
Text line, no disagreeing. Titan says 100% Vlad is the problem. His side show antics, $40 million to cheer for his teammates. 40.2. It seems insignificant, but that's a lot of money. Barney says Vlad, number 1 for sure, but second has to be Springer as a DH and no Barger. Not his fault, but just not there.
I think with Springer, though, it's just the aging curve. Like,
you would have expected it, maybe. Like, you would hope that last year he could duplicate it to a certain extent, but maybe not totally believable.
Maybe not totally falling off the cliff, but, like, look at George Springer prior to last season. Like, last season was the miracle, right? Like, George Springer had the best season of his career last year at 35 years old. How many times does that happen in sports, right? Prior to that, the prior season, he was 9% worse than league average. The season before, he was 2% above. Like, there was a clear fall off starting from George Springer. And then things, for whatever reason, just happened to be like God tier for George Springer last year. I mean, for God's sakes, the guy got 7th in the MVP voting, which is tied for the highest he's ever had in his career. Like, things were so great for George. I expected the fall off, maybe not to this same level, but man, like, I have to look at George and, like, he's 36. I can't blame George that much for what's happened, because everybody saw this coming. I just got to go back to a guy like, I mean, Dalton Varsho has just been pathetic. Like, so many guys, Alejandro Kirk, there's a guy hitting 218 who is, I know he's been injured and he's only played 31 games, but he's basically been worth nothing to this team to this point. Like, a good framing catcher, but every backup catcher is good at framing. So he's basically been a good framer, and that's about it.
Good topics, boys. Fun chat. Text rolling in here. A lot of people in agreement, especially with the Blue Jays. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we're going to get to 5 questions. Jason at the golf room is just delayed a little bit, so we'll get to him at about 5:45. Up next, 5 questions with Declan Kruger. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the 1s and 2s, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
The Bricks 55th birthday bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses. And don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in. The birthday bash ends July 29 at The Brick. Saving you more.
It's finally time to escape your four walls and see where your four wheels can take you. Sherwood Honda helps you head out on the road the way you want to, with the right vehicle, including freedom-seeking SUVs that give you the versatility to drive where, when, and how you want to. It sure would do some good to get out and stretch your horizons, and sure would be easier with Sherwood Honda.
Clean lies, fast, true greens, lush and predictable fairways. Yes, sir, it's a great time to play around at Colonial Golf Club. After the heavy rains earlier this summer, we've parked the Arc and our course is in fantastic condition. And no, golfers aren't coming out of the Arc 2x2. In fact, they're coming to the course in foursomes. Little joke there. And if you're looking to improve your game, our PGA pros are ready to help. Only 5 minutes from Edmonton in Beaumont. Colonial Golf Club. Book a tee time today at colonial.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Nation Golf Tournament. Friday, August 28th, 2026 at Millwoods Golf Course. Golf, drinks, swag, food, and fun. Every swing supports Gregor's grad and helps graduates shine on graduation day. Early bird pricing ends July 18th, so sign up at nationgear.ca before it sells out.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Thursday night, you go meet a girl there. 5 questions. 427. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Right now, let's get right into it. 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. The Brick's 55th birthday bash continues with big savings store-wide. Enter for your chance to win over $155,000 in prizes, including gas cards, TVs, and mattresses. In-store only. The Brick, saving you more.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
Okay, question number 1. Edmonton Elks, of course, in action tonight on the road in Saskatchewan. Do you have a score prediction and a bold prediction?
Oh, score and bold prediction. Well, I was going back and looking, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders do like to win by a score of 31-27. With that being said, I'm going to say they lose 31-27. Bold prediction, defensive touchdown for the green and gold. Could be a scoop and score, could be a pick 6, but a defensive touchdown for the Elks. What do you got, Deck?
I do think Saskatchewan wins tonight. I think Edmonton, I think they're the best team in the CFL. I think they have the best defense in the CFL. But you're probably not going to go 17-1. Only 2 teams have ever gone 16-2. It's a short week. You're playing a team off a bye at home who's also very good. So I just think this is one of the spots you give it to Saskatchewan. So I think they win the game. I think it'll be maybe a little bit lower scoring. I think they win it somewhere in the area of 24-18, something like that. And of course, Trevor Harris, 2 passing touchdowns, Sam Emilus, 85 plus receiving yards. Question number 2, where do you come out on thank you contracts, a la what we just saw with Patrick Kane?
I don't mind them, but I think the situation has to be right. if you're a championship team in the window, obviously you're not handing that out early on in free agency. I think if you take care of your business and, you know, you're going to build up your team, and then at the end of the free agency period, you know, in the NHL, July, maybe the second wave into August, you want to bring a vet back and, you know, maybe reward him for past accomplishments, then I'm okay with it. But that would be the only circumstances, and I'm not doing it if I believe I'm a team that has the chance to go on a run once you get into the postseason. I mean, by giving this contract out, like hypothetically, things go great for Chicago. You know, if you were a team that's closer to the cap and you get to the trade deadline and all of a sudden, like, kind of ties your hands. So I think this situation has to be good. For this one, you know what? I don't mind it. How about you, Deck?
Yeah, I don't mind it generally. But I also am a little bit like, so you're already paying Connor Bedard and Bowen Byram like $27 million. At $8 million, just like, are you trying to like compete? Like, what's 2 years? I don't know. I like it as in principle, especially in a sport like football where you really get churned out after that. Some players like can't even make it to their second call. Like, money's just different. I don't have a problem with it, but I do think Chicago is a lot they have to figure out. And I don't think giving thanks for what you've done for us 15 years ago contracts should be at the top of their priority list. Now, Grant, like Patty King can still play a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan made some good points about him playing there on the wing with Bedard. But it's just, there's a little, like, it's just, that number's just a little high. That's all I'm saying. Him staying in the league with any contract would have been more or less a thank you contract, you know what I mean? Let alone an $8 million cap hit. So, question number 3, did Jet Greaves get too much, too little, or was it just right?
Kind of finding myself thinking just right. Like, he wanted 7.5, they wanted 2.8. Kind of find a sweet spot right there in the middle. I think for him, it's okay as well. It's going to be 3 years, $5 million per. He's 24 years old, so it kind of sets him up potentially for a good deal. And you know what? Like, if things go really good, geez, Columbus might regret not giving him that long-term deal. So goalies are voodoo. We never really know how it's going to play out. But for this one, for me, career record's been pretty good. The career save percentage is over 900, 913, 2.6 goals against average. For me, I kind of think this is just a good sweet spot, and then avoids the slander back and forth in the arbitration room. So I like it.
Yeah, it's funny. 2.8 I thought was crazy low. I would have been closer to his number. It'd be interesting to know what the arbitrator would have thought. Columbus is also in a spot where it's like, what's their best case scenario for the next 3 years? Like 88 points in the second wild card spot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like paying him like a decent number might seem a little bit crazy. So I don't know. I might have bumped. I like Jet Greaves. Do you think Jet Greaves is better than Dustin Wolf?
No, I don't think so.
No, me neither.
But maybe in the future. Right now, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure 5 is fine. I might have given him an extra schmilly.
Keep him happy.
Give him an extra schmilly. 3 years, 18 million, $6 million a year. But now that I say that out loud, that does seem a little high. So maybe it is just right.
It's like one of those things like, hey, in 1 year, this contract could look great. It could also look awful.
Question number 4. Through roughly a third of the season, 6 games for most teams, what do your top 4 power rankings look like for CFL MOP?
Good question. Man, like Vernon Adams has been terrific.
Yeah,
17 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, right?
Crazy numbers.
I'm going to throw him in there.
At number 1?
No, we're going 1 through 3, 3 through 1?
Yeah, 1 through 4. Yeah. Oh, wait, yeah, do it how you want to do it.
I was just going to give you 3 candidates.
Okay, yeah.
So VA, maybe I'll put him at let's say number 3. Geez, I kind of like his backfield mate there as well. And geez, we were getting some really good play out of Bo Levi too, which really bums me out because I thought what he was doing, maybe I could have had him, in the conversation this year. Obviously, I'm going to have Justin Rankin in the top 3, and the 2 games against BC probably going to hold him back. That's not necessarily ideal, but he's still on pace to have one of these outstanding standalone seasons. So he'll be in there. And then I'm just kind of debating it, Deck. Like, I don't want to go another quarterback. I want a little diversity in this one. So if I'm doing that, I've already got a running back. I guess I'm going to go receiver and say Tyson Philpott with the Alouettes. 800 receiving yards, to get it serious contention, I think he needs to boost those touchdown numbers, maybe go on a bit of a run here. But he's got 7 plays of at least 30 yards or more, 50 receptions on 64 targets. Very efficient. So give me VA, give me Rankin, give me Tyson Philpott in my top 3. I'm spreading it around. What do you got?
Yeah, I have Tyson Philpott. He's on pace for 2,400 receiving yards. Like, that is just nuts.
Crazy.
I think I would have him in there. I would have Justin Rankin in there, and I would have Davis Alexander.
Good one too.
Yeah. Question number 5. What is your Mount Rushmore of bad movies?
There's so many. That's the problem with this one. And I think people probably have a lot of good ones that could potentially roll in here. I'll take some flack for this one, but I didn't like Joker. I don't know what I was expecting.
Hold on. Sorry. I meant like the best bad, like the Mount Rushmore of bad movies, but that you still like to watch because it's still enjoyable.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was giving you actual bad movies that
I know. And Joker, I think, was kind of a crazy pull. But
I know.
I digress.
I've told Brandon we go on our mall walks. This comes up every once in a while, and I think maybe I should rewatch it. I'm just going to give you my 4, and then I'm going to let you give me your 4, and then maybe I'll come back with some new ones. I had Jack and Jill, Dumb and Dumberer, and Grown Ups 2. Those are my 4 for bad movies. What are yours? And I'll quickly do a new list here.
Man, I didn't even have an answer when I thought of this question, so I too am doing it on the fly. I have 3 right now. I'm gonna need some help for my 4th. Let me hold on. I'm gonna talk my way into getting a 4th here because I want to have 4. Okay,
and these are bad movies that you enjoy.
Yes.
Okay.
Number 1, The Room with Tommy Wiseau. It's like I don't know if you know kind of the lore.
Hey, Mark, that one.
Yeah. Number 2, Anaconda with Jennifer Lopez and Ice Cube. And actually, I'm not even going to cap more specifically. This is a real deep cut bad movie pull. Anaconda's 2, The Hunt for Blood Orchid. Batman and Robin with Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones. And then you said Grown Ups 2. Like, I was going to go with Grown Ups. But is Grown Ups am I just being a little too hard on Grown Ups? Because if that's the direction, I feel like I could go deep with a number of like slasher horror movies from the 1980s. But maybe I'll just stick with Grown Ups and let the council decide.
Listen, Grown Ups is not winning any Academy Awards, I don't believe, but I found it to be a good movie, so I'd have it in there. Okay, well, if I'm like bad. And this is the thing, that these movies might not be considered bad to people, but I don't think they're like we said, where they're not winning awards maybe. Have you ever heard of the movie Fired Up?
Oh, the cheerleader.
The cheerleader movie?
Yeah, I like that movie.
Funny movie, maybe not the most popular. Can a slasher movie be in here? And I think this is a good movie, but I don't know if it's looked at as like an award winner. Cabin in the Woods. In terms of scary movies.
Oh, people liked that movie.
I love that movie. I think it's a good.
I got like good reviews too.
Okay, well, bad pick by me, but I'm throwing it in there. Ace Ventura, I will say, and I don't know if that it's kind of a corny movie. And then one that I thought had, IMDb gives a rating of 6, but I love it, is Vegas Vacation. When it comes to the vacation movie, it might be the worst. But love Chevy Chase heading out to Vegas, America's #1 family destination. The hijinks they get into, Clark losing all the money. I thought that was a great one. So I guess that would be my Mount Rushmore.
That was a good pick. Vegas Vacation was a good pick. I have that movie on DVD.
Me too. We bought the collector's set of all of them. Demolition Man, all-time great. See, Cody says Deep Blue Sea, it is bad, but it is great. I love that movie.
I love that movie. That's
LL
a
Cool
great
J
pull by Cody.
Samuel L., right? Good movie.
Michael Rappaport.
Is he in it?
Yeah, he plays one of the guys, like one
Tingus,
of the
Pingus. Good one. Big Rig, he's seen Fired Up. The Fountain of Troy is prohibitable. Yeah, good movie. Daniel in Blackfall says, hey, if I was starting a sports talk show, I had 3 picks. Connor, Declan, JG. Thank you. And Donovan, you get 4 picks. What about Boondock Saints? Not considered good by media standards. I think we watched that.
I think most people, in the years after it was released, have come around to accept it as a good movie, though.
Cult classic.
Yeah, like it's Rotten Tomato score isn't going to be that high or whatever, but I think people view it as a good movie.
Yeah, we watched it for a movie watch back in 2019 or something. I thought it was good. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes from Honest Ed. Haven't seen it. Fifth Element and Star Wars Episode 1. Jar Jar Binks.
Star Wars Episode 1's a good pull.
Like pod racing. I thought that was a pretty good one. Good video game that came out of it. For horror movie, Ghost Ship. I've heard of that one. I don't think I've actually seen it. But you know what? Throw it on the list because I'm on board for that one. Oh, yeah. It looks like it'd be good just based on the cover. Trailer Park Rant says, hey guys, Boondock Saints is in my top 3 of all time. Absolutely epic movie. Also, the worst sequel ever follows it. I've heard that. Radio Free Agent Listener says, the most overrated movie is the original Slapshot. Don't tell certain people that. So certain people will not like that. But I'll listen to it. Guys, let's take a break here. When we come back, more of your text. Get to Gregor. Still on the show, we got Spec, Eddie Steele, and Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson sitting in. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta-exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
It's the hard jobs that take know-how, expertise, and the right experience. And that's why, time and time again, GS Construction gets the call when it comes to the hard jobs. Underground projects that are genuinely difficult, like deep installs, tough ground conditions, or tight urban sites. So remember, when it's a hard job, the list gets short, and GS Construction is on it. Want to tackle the hard jobs? We're looking for experienced pipe layers and topmen. Visit gsconstruction.ca today.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Throw a load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada. Properties include the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility in Nisku, features 2 sheets of ice, a 1,600-seat arena, as well as Summit Restaurant. Learn more at silentice.com.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Japa Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service. Whether you need rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Don't let rookies scratch your custom wheels. Evolve Wheels and Tires uses premium touchless equipment designed to protect your wheel and tire investment. Trust the enthusiasts at Evolve Wheels and Tires, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride. Evolve your experience.
Feeling overwhelmed by debt? Concerned about what the next few weeks or months will bring for your finances? My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. You don't have to navigate this alone. Together, we can review your options and build a personalized plan to reduce your payments and get you out of debt, so you can breathe again. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
Alberta. We're wild and tough and beautiful. We agree that good enough isn't good enough. And though everything that matters starts with a home and a family. At Lux, our family has been handcrafting windows and doors for this incredible place for over half a century. There's no place we'd rather be. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
The Bricks 55th Birthday Bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses. And don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in. The Birthday Bash ends July 29 at the Brick. Saving you more.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, Jersey barriers and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order. Enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
It's 446. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch. Connor Halley sitting in, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson along for the ride as well. Of course, you can always reach us, 1-833-401-1440. The Jason Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. The Daily Grind, your chance to win $1,000 a day for 20 years. That's $7.3 million. Tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Remember, always use your game sense. Right now, we are going to be joined by the usual host of the show, Jason Gregor himself. We'll go around the NHL for McDonald's. It's dollar drink days at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax all summer long, only at McDonald's. Jason Gregor joining us now. Jason, how's the show or how's the day going? How'd the golf go for you?
You know what, buddy? It was nice. It was not as hot as yesterday, and so it was good. A little bit of cloud cover at times, and got through it much easier. Not sweating as much as yesterday.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's good to hear. And we will talk Elks and Riders in a second, but some news from the NHL today. Patrick Kane signing with the Chicago Blackhawks once again, 2 years, $8 million per season. Last season appearing in 67 games for the Wings, 57 points, 16 goals. How do you like this move for the Blackhawks and for Patrick Kane?
Well, it's a legacy contract. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, he's not worth $8 million. Well, it's not so much about what his worth is today on the market. They're not a cap team. They're not spending to the cap. And in fact, they probably need his money. I haven't looked at it to get to. I know they got Bedard now, so they probably are over the floor anyway. But Patrick Kane is somebody who won 3 cups, was really one of the major parts of that franchise. So he gets to come back to the team that he enjoys. He also, Connor Bedard and some of the other young guys, Bowen Byram, those guys, you're going to learn a lot playing with a guy like Patrick Kane, right? He's not the dominant Patrick Kane of 2010 to 2018, kind of 20, that decade where he was, one of the high scoring players in the league, right? He's not that guy anymore, but he still thinks the game and sees the game, and he can, I think, impart a lot of wisdom on those young players. So now I understand why they make this decision. And obviously, if you're Patrick Kane, of course you do it. Like, he's getting 8 sheets a year. So it's a good deal for him. You know, the Blackhawks aren't a Stanley Cup contender. I'm not even sure they're a playoff contender right now. Maybe they hope that next year they could become a little bit more of one, possibly. And you got to have guys who can win, and I think there's value around it. So I don't really worry so much about the AAV because, A, it's only 2 years. B, this is not a team that's going to be spending to the cap anyway. So I don't have a problem with it. It's a little bit of a nostalgia signing, but you can't always get caught up in AAV. Not every AAV, makes the exact same sense as other guys making $8 million. I think there's much more to this deal.
100%. And to have a veteran like Kane in the lineup in that room, I think that adds a little value as well. I heard the morning show today talking about the C, and I always go back to Terry Ryan, and he talks about how, it's hard for us to really speculate not being in that room. But Connor Bedard is still just 21 years old. Do you hold off on the captaincy for him? And could you give it to Patrick Kane, or do you think you just roll this year with 4 A's?
You could easily give it to Kane. I think it would be smarter than you're going to give Connor Bedard the captaincy. Now, it's like I never agreed when the Oilers gave it to McDavid in his second season, right? Like, I know they'd finally made the playoffs, but then they missed the playoffs 2 years into his the next 2 years, right, into his captaincy. So I don't think it's mandatory. And if I was Chicago, why would I want to put the extra pressure on Connor Bedard to have the captaincy of a team that's not winning? So I would easily give it to Patrick Kane. I'd have no problem with that. Or you don't have to have a captain, but if you are, then I'd give it to Kane.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, this season, like you said, not even a playoff team potentially. Things could be going bad. Why throw Connor Bedard into all that, have to face the media? Why not let a guy like Patrick Kane do it? I think it would make a lot of sense. As Jason Gregor joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. The other contract we saw today, Jet Greaves, 3x5. The deals from what we had heard, had it gone to arbitration, the Columbus Blue Jackets camp was kind of saying 2.8, Greaves camp 7.5. They kind of meet in the middle at $5 million. Do you like this one for the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then for Jet Greaves, obviously a chance in a few years here to cash in once again?
Well, this is a great deal, I think, for Columbus. And obviously, anytime you get $5 million a year for 3 years for Jet Greaves, you're pretty excited about it. But now arbitration, it kind of shows you when you see 7.5 and 2.8, and people are like, oh my God, they're so far apart. But, they didn't even go in the middle of that, and they went for 3 years. So, you ask for 7.5 to the arbitrator simply because the arbitrator might go on your side. And I think if you're Columbus, that's where we got to get a deal here. So I actually think this is a really good deal for Columbus. And it's obviously a good deal for Jet Greaves, no question. But I think you look at this contract in year 2 or year 3 of his deal, and a lot of people could be saying, hey, one of the best value contracts of any goalie in the NHL. So I really like this deal for Columbus.
Jason, switching over to the CFL, you got the Elks and the Riders tonight, 7 o'clock from Mosaic Stadium. Obviously, the emotions are going to be very high, I would think, for both sides, and a huge swing potentially with these two teams playing the home and away series the next 2 weeks here. For the Edmonton Elks, what do you think key to victory is to get the job done on the road?
Well, number one, you're right. The emotion of the game, I think, have a good start. Don't let Saskatchewan, the crowd, really overwhelm you early on. Number 2, red zone, red zone, red zone. You've got to find a way to not be just a field goal team tonight. Saskatchewan is a better team than BC. They're a better team than Ottawa. And you've got to find a way. If you're going to march the ball down the field, you got to punch it in. And then, I know this one's probably pretty obvious, but, you got to get Justin Rankin where he's going to have some positive yardage. You can't, create some different play action on run plays. Because if I'm Saskatchewan, I'm going to repeat what BC did. And BC really packed the box. They blitzed a lot on runs, and there was nowhere to go. So why not try play action sometime? I think if you try play action with them, especially if they're being that aggressive, well, now all your Cody Fajardo, you roll out, and you're going to have wide open. So, and he doesn't have to scramble every time. And it's not like he has to do play action, throw it 50 yards downfield, but you should have some guys set up. So I'd like to be a little bit more creative in the play calling offensively tonight. Defense, there's not much to change, man. Their defense playing great. They're like, They're turning the ball over. They're creating sacks. They don't give up a lot of points. Like, the defense is just play the same. So I think a lot of this is they're going to win tonight. The offense has to play better than they are.
100%. Jason Gregor joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Just looking at the offensive line here, we talked about the possibility of them going with 4 Americans. Won't be the case from left to right. You've got Bordner, O'Donnell, Corte, Carter, and Murray. How do you like that group as a whole?
Well, you know what? Obviously, O'Donnell will miss him, right? Boyko has played better at guard in his career than tackle. So, and I would like to believe that just his internal competition, he looks at this and says, man, like, if I want to keep starting, I got to play. And I got to play well. And if he plays well today, then guess what? Because O'Donnell, my understanding is he will be ready to go next week. And so when he comes back, he'll definitely be the left guard. So Boyko, if he plays well enough, he could move over to the right guard and keep himself in the starting rotation, not just as a backup. And I would like to believe that's what he wants. So I don't mind this one. You know, watch Boyko and see what his pad level is. He's going to have to get lower as a guard just because he's playing inside more so than he would as a tackle. And it's okay. Like, I do really think they miss David Beard at the center position. And obviously they miss O'Donnell. Like, your starting 3 interior guys are gone. That is, and it's great that you have depth and credit Ed Hervey and his scouting staff to ensure that you've got this many quality offensive linemen, right? Like, a lot of these guys will be starters on other teams. So that's a good problem. But there is a slight gap, I think, between the starting 3 and these 3. And then it's up to those 3 to say, hey, we're going to show up tonight and we're going to show the guys when these guys get healthy that it's not just they get gifted their spot back. I want them to earn their spot back.
Yeah, correction. Bordner, Boyko, Corte, Carter, Murray. Gregor, I'm just looking at, I hate to pick on a guy, but you look at Zach Mathis and, what he's been unable to do with the size that he has, the weapon that he should be in the CFL. Has there been a more disappointing player for you this season?
No, not even close. He doesn't even stay in the lineup very often. And I watched him in practice, Connor, and I think it starts in practice. When you're a bubble guy and you are not practicing with just utter desperation, you're hurting yourself. Like, Zach Mathis is at the point now, Connor, where I'm not sold he'll be here next year the way he's playing. He has done very little. You have a raw rookie who's basically taken his spot away from him. And when he's in there, he's not doing anything. He's not even really doing anything in practice. Now, I haven't been in practice every day, but every time I'm there, I watch it because I'm like you. I look at him. Hey, this guy's 6'7". Like, you know what? He's got good jump. He's got good reach. He should be a guy that you would target because there's mismatches all over the field with him and virtually every defensive back. But we haven't seen it at all. And he hasn't gained any confidence from his quarterback. He hasn't gained any confidence from his receiving coach or his offensive coordinator. So, yeah, like, Zach Mathis is a guy who's really regressed from where he was before he got injured last year.
Yeah, and I mean, he gets the opportunities. He's given chances. The ball's put in a good spot, and he just doesn't hang on to it. It boggles my mind, to be totally honest with you. Gregor, before we let you go, we did our predictions. What do you think happens tonight?
Yeah, I think until I see the offense really come up clutch, I have a hard time picking them. So I think the Elks are going to go. I think they're going to split the series here. They'll win at home, but they lose tonight.
All right. Declan agrees with you. We'll see what happens. Should be fun. Kick off in a couple hours here. Gregor, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, boys. Thanks for filling in. We'll chat to you tomorrow.
There you go. The host of the Jason Gregor Show, Jason Gregor, joining us here. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson, sitting in today. Hour left on the program. Of course, in hour 4, we'll hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. We'll be joined by Eddie Steele, former member of both of these teams. And up next, Mark Spector. I got to talk to him about his golf tournament yesterday because how do I get in? I guess I could buy my way in, but I heard it was an absolutely great time yesterday, and they raised a lot of money. We'll talk to him about that. Jays won. That's something that's pretty cool. Elks in action, NHL signings, all that and more. But before that, we are going to get to a Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Employee pricing is on now. You pay what they pay. Get a great deal at Northgate for this month only. Shop now at northgategm.com.
The Sports 1440 update.
Scores.
From around the majors, Royals and Tigers tied 0-0 in at the bottom of the first. D-backs lead the Cards 4-2 at the bottom of the sixth. Finals today saw the Braves over the Padres, Twins over the Guardians 3-1 in extras, and the Jays getting the win at home against the Rays 3-1 as well. CFL action tonight will go at 7 o'clock with Edmonton and Saskatchewan out in Regina. The line for that one currently Saskatchewan at -3.5. News from around the sporting world is Patrick Kane has signed a 2-year, $16 million deal to return to the Chicago Blackhawks, while Columbus and Jet Reeves reaching a 3-year, $15 million deal before the arbitration hearing. Ronald Acuna Jr. could return from IL tomorrow versus the Orioles, and the Las Vegas Raiders have signed number 1 pick Fernando Mendoza to his rookie contract, 4 years, $57 million. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been Sports 1440 Update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
The Bricks 55th birthday bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses, or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses, and don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in. The birthday bash ends July 29th at the Brick. Saving you more.
Come for Canada's largest trade shows, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. And stay for the experience at the Edmonton Expo Centre. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Centre has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocentre.com today.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance. When you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Hello, Edmonton. Did you know the Subaru Forester has earned an IIHS Top Safety Pick Award or higher for 20 years running? With advanced eyesight driver assist technology, 360-degree surround view monitor, driver-focused technology, and of course, the legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive, all working together. And it's available as a hybrid, delivering fuel efficiency as low as 6.8 liters per 100 kilometers. Visit your nearest Subaru dealer and test drive the Subaru Forester today. Welcome to Uncommon.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. A $3 mini Rockstar Burger special starting at 5. Drink specials all night and salsa lessons at 8:30. OnTheRocksYag.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Oh, almost at the frenzy sponsor. Shout out to Wilhawk as well, but PlayAlberta.ca. Today, you got the Gregor Show specials. For me, I'm going heavy on Justin Rankin. Bounce back game in Saskatchewan. You can go check the specials out, playalberta.ca. Remember to use your game sense. Also, tonight, the Daily Grand, your chance to win $1,000 a day for 20 years. I'd be happy with that. I know some people say take the lump sum, but $1,000 a day, it'd be quite nice just to wake up and have that. Quick shout out to Brock. He had texted into 1-833-401-1440. He said, Hallie, were you wearing a Beverly Warriors hat the other day? I noticed in the video when you guys were drawing Oilers jerseys. I think so. I got this hat. I'm wearing it right now, actually, from someone at an Elks watch party. And after the game, they're like, hey, you gave me some stuff here. I'm going to give you this. And it's the most comfortable hat I've ever owned. So I wear it quite a bit. And then I also, when I leave the house some mornings, I'll say to my son, hey, which hat should I wear? And he'll pick this one out. So I just wear it. And Brock followed up and said, I have that hat. It's the Beverly Warriors. And he coached the junior B team. So there you go. Shout out to the Beverly Warriors. I didn't even know. Ron from Soria texted in about best movie, maybe bad movie, True Lies. Ron, I saw that one. Actually enjoyed it. JC's, what do you guys expect out of the Elks tonight against the Rough Riders? I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be a competitive game. I'm expecting points. Obviously, it's going to be an emotional evening. Should be a fun one. I'm looking forward to it. And it's a huge game for both of these teams. Like the next two games going head-to-head against each other, it's massive. You've heard my thoughts. Let's get to someone else's thoughts as Mark Spector joins us in the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. They are hiring. You can work for a fantastic company that loves to promote from within with great benefits. They're also huge sports fans. Apply at gsconstruction.ca and search careers. We're joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. Spec, good evening. How you doing today?
Oh, awesome. Looking forward to this football game tonight. It's nothing I like better than to sit in the deck and open up a cold beer and watch the Elks play, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one for sure. And I mean, I don't know. We've had instances, Spec, when the Elks go on a bit of a run closer to Labor Day and we say, wow, biggest game for the Edmonton Elks. I feel like this year we're saying that almost every week now because, this is a huge game. You want to try to keep the ground separated between you and those teams lower in the standings. But here, home and home against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, like, they're taking me back to the early 2000s, the last time I feel like we had a real big game between these two teams.
Yeah, like a home and home that between two teams that, that have some gravitas in the league here that really matter. It's not the Saskatchewans looking at the Edmonton saying, well, we should sweep this thing. So that's good. Listen, this is the fruit of having a competitive team. Having games that matter, having games we can talk about it. I think we've forgotten in this town what it's like in the CFL because we haven't had it, and now we get to have it, and it's freaking awesome. I'm excited to talk about an Elks team that means something now, right? It's great.
100%. And, I think you got to give so much credit to Chris Morris and his staff, the trickle-down effect, no doubt. But when he talked about building this team and keeping the consistency and, not cycling through players, not cycling through coaches, I think you're seeing the steps, like not only the positional coaches, but JC Sherritt, I think, is really developing into an outstanding CFL mind. And there was times last year, maybe people didn't quite believe it, but he's calling great play calls. Ed Hervey is bringing in incredible players. And I mean, hey, I'm going to give the credit to the top, the new ownership group, of course, but Chris Morris coming in and kind of bringing back the old Eskimo way of sort.
Yeah, well, the old Eskimo way won. And why did it win? Because there was stability. They had good people who made smart decisions. They didn't cycle through the front office. Like, how far back do you want to go? How long did Norm Kimball, was he in charge of personnel for the Eskimos? I mean, a million years. How long was Hugh Campbell the head decision maker? For a million years. So, we've watched the Oilers cycle through people, and it hasn't worked. Like, turmoil in the front office means turmoil on the roster, means this GM's looking for that kind of player. Then there's a new GM. He wants a different kind of player. So we just got some stability here. And yeah, let's absolutely credit Chris Morris with this. And Ed Hervey's a good GM, and he's going to be here for a while. And now they found themselves a pretty nice coach who's in turn hired good assistants like hire smart people and get out of their way, Connor. And that's what we're seeing here with the Elks.
Yeah, hands off. Exactly. And yeah, you're right. Mark Killam and his staff deserving a lot of credit for what they've been able to do and bringing some stability to the organization for sure. When you look at this matchup tonight, obviously we know this story, and it was a great tragedy for what happened this past weekend. 2 lives lost, young men in both cases. How much of an impact do you think that has on this Riders team? Because I think in one sense it seems like it's a getaway from it all, but they're going to be thinking about their lost brother for sure.
Yeah, it's different people will react a different way. I mean, I remember I've told the story before, but I'll tell it again. I remember Don Matthews. Somebody asked old Don Matthews, speaking of long-time coaches who knew what they were doing. They said, "Oh boy, this particular player is playing against his old team. You expect a really good game out of him?" And Matthews said, if I got to wait till this guy's playing his old team to get the best game out of him, then I don't have a very good player here, right? What about all the other games when he's playing the teams he never used to play for? Is he not going to be as good? So my point is this. The Riders, this is an emotional thing. You've lost a teammate. There's been a terrible tragedy, and it will affect some players differently. There's no doubt. But I never buy, the Riders are going to play way better because they've got something has happened outside the football field that's going to get a better game out of them. They're going to play the best game they can play. This is a big distraction. This is a pretty heavy thing. But don't tell me you're going to get a harder to beat Riders team than you would have got. I never buy that.
Yeah, I think I'd be with you with that one. Is Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Hey, Spec, on a more positive note, the Toronto Blue Jays won a game today.
Oh, my God. It's sad because they bring us such joy when they're good. and the Blue Jays play in a time of year when all we want to do, there's not a lot on, right? Like there's CFL on the weekend, but all week long you could turn a Blue Jays game on. It's on Sportsnet every day. And when they suck like this, it's no fun, huh?
It was so good, late August, September last year before the Oilers really got going.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're getting the complete opposite this year.
Yeah, and it's like, everyone's heading home from work here. They're going to put the barbecue on. They're going to turn the TV on. They're going to maybe have a glass of wine or something. And you turn the Jays game on. Like tonight we got an Elks game, so that's awesome. But the Jays are a staple, win, lose, or draw. And unfortunately, they've been doing a lot more losing than winning or drawing this year.
Oh, it's been tough. It's been tough. Some news from the NHL today, which is kind of nice. We're in that slow part of the season, but Patrick Kane going back to Chicago, where he was great, won 3 Stanley Cups, obviously, getting $8 million per year for the next 2 seasons.
Wow.
I think the dollar amount is surprising a lot of people, but the legacy contract, how do you like the fit and what he can bring for this team?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, he can still play. Like I see everyone saying, how did he get $8 million? But listen, he got 67 points last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe that's the number, 67 in less than 70 games on a non-playoff team. So, there used to be a formula. A guy that gets 67 points should get $6.7 million. Like that's a sort of a starting point is what I'm saying to you. So for him to get $8 million isn't completely out of the ballpark, for one. For two, he's going to help get a Chicago fan base through a season where they're still not very good. Like this rebuild's plodding on here in Chicago. And, they're under threat of having a rebuild that starts to cost people jobs here if it doesn't kick into second gear soon. Patrick Kane will help your team be better on the ice. He'll sell you some tickets. He'll bring some maturity to the room. He'll be someone for Connor Bedard to lean on. So he brings stuff on a lot of fronts. I like to pick up for Chicago. And I'll tell you right now, I love the fact that a guy gets to turn on a Blackhawks game and number 88's playing and it's Patrick Kane. Like, tell me that's a bad thing, Connor, right?
Can't do it. Statistics last year, 16 goals, 57 points in 67 games played. So you'll take that.
57, not 67.
In 67
games.
Little
overpaid, but What the heck? I mean, I don't even think Chicago's at the cap anyway, so they can afford it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm here for it. I don't think he's looking to win Stanley Cups. Obviously, the Blackhawks are in a tough spot. That division is crazy, but I like the landing spot. Something to watch on a random night in November. See Patrick Kane. I'm here for it. The other contract today we saw was Jet Greaves with the Columbus Blue Jackets, avoiding arbitration. It's a 3-year deal, $5 million per season. He wanted 7.5. The team wanted 2.8. They keep it, civil, not as messy going to arbitration. Do you like that deal for both sides?
Yeah, I do. And I think Jet Greaves, he held himself up like a number one goalie last year. You know, his numbers were good, and he did it on a lousy team. Like, Columbus is Columbus. They're not that good. So I think he's deserving of Columbus is looking at this guy like he might be our goalie long term here. Might be able to build around him, and that's awesome if they can. Columbus needs all the help they can get. And $5 million for a number one, like, he's going to play. What's he going to play? He's going to play 55 games. $5 million for that player. There's nothing wrong with that. He's young. He's good. He's growing. I think it's. I'm happy if I'm Columbus, and I'm pretty happy if I'm Jet Greaves.
I would totally agree with you on those ones. Quickly, Spec, did you get the final numbers in for the golf tournament yesterday? How much money you guys raised?
Yeah, we did. It looks like it's coming in somewhere around 140,000. I thought it was 150. I think it's going to be just above 140, which is still awesome. It takes us up to, in 13 years, we've raised, give or take, $1.8 million for Sports Central in 13 tournaments. I thank people this morning. I'll thank them one more time. Everybody who's ever donated a piece of equipment or played in the tournament or came as a celebrity or bought something in our auction. I just want to say thank you. We're running something here that's near and dear to my heart. Sports Central's been around town for 35, pushing 40 years now, and we sure are happy to put kids in free sports equipment. Right? It's not one of those programs where you get it discounted. Sports equipment through Sports Central is free, and there's a lot of families out there right now who could sure use some.
sportscentral.org if anyone wants to make a donation. Maybe they could have made it out. I heard it was a really good time. We call them kind of the babies of the station, the Mackenzies, the Donovan, Josh.
We saw that. Yeah, sure.
They're telling me they just were crushing food at 8 a.m. Meatballs at 8 a.m. I was pretty jealous.
Yeah. Oh, there was lots to eat and drink there. And you know how golf tournaments are. I think I know my way around a cold beer here and there, but you go to a golf tournament and they're serving you something different on every second hole. So you end up mixing everything around. Like, you have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and it all tastes so good, but that's probably not the way to go about having a beer and then a cooler and then some wine and then some specialty vodka and then, right? It's a long day out there, man, but we had a great time.
I heard it was a very good time. And yeah, I got to talk to Tater. I heard he was feeling it a little early on, maybe 9 a.m. Maybe would have blown over. So we'll talk to Tater about that one.
Pace yourself, buddy. You got to pace yourself out there at the Spec Classic.
Well, Spec, thanks for doing this today. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
All right, sounds good. Got it.
There you go. Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet joins us every day on the Jason Gregor Show, 5 o'clock. You can also catch him with Tom Gazzola in the morning. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. Text line. Lots of things rolling in here. Phil says Columbus, a lousy team. They finished 1 point below the Oilers last year. What does that make the Oilers? Well, they were out of the playoffs in 10 days. So they weren't necessarily the best team. But I would say, if you have a pick for who's going to have a better season this upcoming season, I think you probably lean towards the Oilers. Yeah, it wasn't a great season. I love that contract for Jet Greaves and the Columbus Blue Jackets, though. To me, it's perfect. For them, it's not the biggest number. You're hoping to get some good play out of him. For him, I think it's the real winner. And you go back and you've seen it time after time. Darnell Nurse was an example in Edmonton. They gave him 2 of those bridge deals rather than giving him the long-term deal. And when it was time to sign the long-term deal, the man got paid. For Jet Greaves, when his contract ends, I believe he'll be 27 years old. Opportunity for him to really get the bag then, and just betting on yourself. PK Subban was another one, I believe, kind of bet on himself, got paid by the Montreal Canadiens, put in the work, and heck, in a few years here, it'll all be worth it, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Phil. That's fair. Text lines 1-833-401-1440. Connor at sports1440.ca if you want to send an email. The show brought to you by playalberta.ca. In case you missed it, some big money on the line here. The Lotto Max tomorrow, $25 million. On Saturday, the Gold Ball jackpot, $36 million. And then if you like $1,000 a day, well, get the ticket tonight because that could be your life. $1,000 a day for 20 years. It's a lump sum of $7.3 million. playalberta.ca. We'll take a break here. When we come back, more text. And hey, we're going to talk to a guy who's played in this battle. Played for the Rough Riders. Played for Edmonton. Also, you can hear him here on Sports 1440. Eddie Steele going to join us next. And we might get a breakdown on Donovan Paulson at the Mark Spector Golf Tournament because he kind of went viral yesterday for his struggles. And then redemption. It is the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, Donovan Paulson with you here. Brought to you by playalberta.ca.
50. Right now at Papa John's, you order carry out, you get 50% off the pizza, loaded with the toppings you love. You want pepperoni? You got it. You want the works? Done. Always made with our fresh, never frozen dough. Half the price for the pizza you already love. When you come grab it, just use promo code CO50. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. 50% off regular menu price pizzas. Carry out only. Use promo code CO50. Participating locations, restrictions may apply.
Performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicks things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
The Bricks 55th Birthday Bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses, and don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in, the Birthday Bash ends July 29th at The Brick, saving you more.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
What's it like to score a winning deal at Car West Leduc? Like raising the cup in your hometown on your birthday. Feel it now at Car West Leduc. Experience a vast, uncompromising selection of top-quality used vehicles with no extra fees. Trucks, sedans, vans, SUVs, and more. Backed by family-run service and top dealer ratings on Google. So when the final siren goes, you go home with a deal you'll never forget. Car West Leduc, 6514 Sparrow Drive Leduc, or at carwestautosales.com.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care, Edmonton's multidisciplinary health clinic at West Edmonton Mall. Physicians, physio, massage, sports psychology, and more. One team, one roof, one plan. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, of course. You can go check out the Jason Gregor Show daily specials. Today, Declan and I getting our fingerprints all over it. For me, how about Justin Rankin? 2 touchdowns, over 100 yards. Yeah, the BC Lions might have slowed him down a little bit, but I'm expecting a big game. And also, a reminder, you got to keep running the football. You never know when he's going to break a big run. So I'm throwing that one out there. I've also got the all Elks bet, Edmonton to win, also over 57.5 points. That one, I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope it happens. I think we won a lot of points tonight. Dex selects. He's got the Rough Riders covering the 4.5 point spread. Trevor Harris, 2 touchdowns, and Milas, 85 receiving yards. We'll see if it happens. Go over to playalberta.ca. Check out the daily specials for the Jason Gregor Show. And remember to use your game sense. Text line is 1-833-401-1440. Allie, Paulson, Kruger with you here in the Sports 1440 studios. And of course, the Edmonton Elks obviously in action tonight, set to take on those Saskatchewan Rough Riders. We're going to talk about that game a little bit here. And we will go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in projects, service, tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net. And for this segment, there's probably no one better we could talk to. A guy who played for the Edmonton Elks, or the Edmonton Eskimos, the Rough Riders. Also Hamilton, he's a champion at almost every level. You can hear him twice a week with Elks Nation. Also on the Tom Gazzola Show, Mondays and Fridays. Eddie Steele joining us. Eddie, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Colin, man, I'm doing excellent, brother. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Getting ready to wrap this one up. Then I'm going to be heading down to first round downtown for the Elks watch party as they take on the Riders. Always a good time. So if anyone's out there is looking for a spot to watch the game, please do come see me. You'll get some free swag, great food and drinks, discounted, of course. And it's going to be a good time. Looking forward to it. Eddie, what are you doing tonight? You just hunkering down and watching at home?
You know what? I'm in the process of grilling up some hot dogs as we speak, getting some French fries in the air fryer. Going to have a good little barbecue and hunker down, watch this game. I can't wait for it. It's going to be an epic CFL game I'm anticipating.
Beautiful. Do the kids watch the football as well, or is it just you?
Man, keeping it real. I'm going to have that sucker PVR. I'll probably be about 45 minutes late into the game because I'll be dealing with the kids. It's too much of a distraction. Tomorrow is a big day, too, with the radio first thing in the morning, followed by Elks Nation. So you've got to be prepared mentally to bust this game down. So I like to lock down and focus. So I'll have the kids in bed by the time I watch it.
Man, I have so much respect for those parents out there with more than one. We've got one, and it's a handful. To have 2 plus, much respect, Eddie. Now, quick question before we get into this game and break it down. What's been the biggest difference going from Kevin Carius to Tom Gazzola?
Oh, you're going to do me like that, huh, Con, man?
They're both great, though, of course.
Difference. One of them wears underpants, that being Tom Gazzola, because Kevin Carius is notoriously known for freelancing it. And funny enough, you're probably sitting in the chair he would always sit in.
Yeah, you're right. I should have moved it probably. Kind of weird to have a conversation with a grown man knowing that, hey, trying to keep it serious. But yeah, that's a professionalism that Tom Gazzola brings to the big chair, of course, every day here, 7 a.m. on Sports 1440. So let's look at this game tonight. An absolutely massive game for the Green and Golds. They haven't been in this position in years. The Rough Riders, obviously a little bit more familiar, playing in some big games in the last couple of years here. We know what's happening. It was an absolute tragedy, an innocent life lost over this past weekend. There's going to be tributes to both men before the game. For the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, how much is just going to lay over their head, and just does it provide any distraction for them, or do you think it's kind of an escape to just go play football and not think about this?
Oh, that's a really well-framed question, because football can be an escape for guys, and it is for many guys in many different challenging situations. It has been for me in tough times. So I can relate on that level where sometimes you just want to get to practice, being at practice around the guys for those couple hours, meetings and all of that. It's nice because you can forget about some of the outside world and some of the real world problems that the reality is everybody goes through. So in that sense, it's nice to escape. Where I find it could be a distraction is, look, you're playing with heavy hearts. I get that. And there's a lot of unique circumstances around this unfortunate tragedy that took place, positive and, negative circumstances that really make things challenging regarding this situation. So I think with the players, it's going to be that first quarter is going to be everything, Conman. I think that's going to be very telling of what kind of football game we're going to see. And look, football doesn't slow down for anybody. And if I was Mark Killam, the message is going to be, this might sound brutal, but let's step on their throat early, because mentally they could be a little bit shook. And this is a chance that we can pounce on them, because you know what? Our bills still need to get paid. We still have a CFL game to play. I know it's a shame what happened, but you got to go out and win this sucker here 4 or 5 days later. And that's just the reality of pro football, man. It doesn't stop for anybody.
Absolutely. Shake her hand after the game, give them a hug, pray with them. And then, but before that, handle your business. And the Edmonton Elks certainly have the players to do this. Now, Justin Rankin, we've seen him twice kind of get shut down by the BC Lions. I still don't like going away from him, even in close games, because he's just so dynamic and can make that big play, maybe when you least suspect it. What do you think we're going to see tonight for the Edmonton Elks with their game plan against this Rough Riders defense?
Well, this game is all or nothing on the offensive line, because we know how banged up they are at the interior trio, guard, center, guard. And those are, 3 quality players. They're not just guys out there. They're some of the highest paid players at their positions for a reason. They're all-star caliber players. So having backups across the board in the interior is going to pose for quite a challenge. How are they going to respond against the Sask D that probably is going to come out flying? It's going to be quite telling. I don't know if we're going to see the ground success that we would probably want to see out of Justin Rankin. And I'm not trying to sound pessimistic, but we have to be realistic with our thought here, in the sense that you need to know who your personnel is, and they're playing with depth players. And that's just how it's going to unfold. I think Justin Rankin's going to have to get his minimum 20 touches a game, like we talk about. I hope that he can pound and grind up 4 or 5 yards. I'm not looking for the home runs. I think this is going to be a tight defensive battle where those 4 or 5 yards matter, keeping you in second and short situations.
Eddie Steele joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. I want to look at the defensive line, Eddie. Obviously, we know you played a very versatile role along the defensive line and offensive line as well. I'll give you your props for that one as well. But we saw it against the BC Lions, and yes, it was a backup quarterback, but they got the 4 interceptions. The pressure was great. We know rushing cover goes hand in hand. What have you made of the Elks front 4 this season, and as of late, more especially?
Yeah, starting to feel them a little bit more lately, starting to get some more pressure. Clearly, you knock Nathan Rourke out of the football game with a sack. And I got to say, shout out Noah Taylor. Get him on the field more. He is a productive player. He makes nonstop plays. I've been chatting with the past few days, spending time with Armando Sewell, putting on a football camp down in Masquachese. And he was an assistant D-line coach a few years ago when Noah Taylor first arrived on scene. And he was telling me the thing about Noah, man, he's in shape. Just got to keep getting him more reps and more reps and more reps. And look at how it's unfolding. He's second in the league in sacks with 3. There's a log jam of guys at 4, and then Noah sitting there at 3 in limited reps. So he's getting the start this week, and I expect to see a big game out of him. And, Jared Brinkman is another guy I got to give some love to, because he is an unsung hero in the middle. And focus on him, because a lot of the reason why the Elks are so good defensively, especially stopping the run, begins and ends with Jared Brinkman, the stalwart in the middle.
Eddie, you can be real with me here. Politically correct answer out the window. When Nathan Rourke went down, are the defensive linemen licking their chops? Because we know Nathan Rourke, he's got that mobility. He can get around. When he's out there, you're going to be running. With Chase Bryce, don't want to slander the name, but he's not Nathan Rourke. Do you think they were pretty fired up when he left the game that early?
Heck yeah, Connor. Those guys on the sideline giving each other pounds, celebrating, dabbing each other up. That's what you're trying to do. you're trying to get the number one quarterback out of the game in a clean way. You're not looking to play dirty and nasty, but if you get paid to hit the quarterback as a defensive lineman now, and it's hard to get there, and those offensive linemen hold more times than not. So when you get your chance, you got to finish him. I'm not going to sit here and, say that coaches say, we'll pay you if you get the quarterback out, like Greg Roman with New Orleans Saints. But I'll tell you, first and foremost, man, as a defensive lineman, we would have a little pot. Hey, guys, first to knock the quarterback out, everybody put $100 in, you get the pot. And that goes on every team I've been a part of. And that's just the reality of it's no different than interceptions. DBs will put up a big pot. Hey, guys, first pick, you get the pot. And if you get that quarterback out of the game, it makes life a lot easier for the rest of the defense, the remainder of the game.
Wanye Cup champion, Grey Cup champion, Eddie Steele joining us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Connor Halley sitting in. Eddie, I know you were in the trenches. I just want to ask you, anyone standing out to you, offensive, defensive line, that has kind of stood out to you this season, maybe not getting love from anywhere else?
Oh, yeah, that's a really good question, actually, Colin, man. I've been just so internally focused with the Elks, of course, paying attention across the league and aware of what's going on. But like I said, there's that log jam of guys at 4 sacks. Jake Serezna is having quite a resurgence of a season, of a career, I should say, because his numbers were limited the past couple of years, and here he is with Winnipeg. He's one of those guys that top the list at 4 sacks. Willie Jefferson, too, with 4 sacks. He's a very impactful player, and we know Willie. He used to play here. He was a former teammate of mine. But his sack numbers kind of lagged off a little bit the past couple of years. He still had a whack load of bat downs, and he's a dominant player because of his presence. But it's nice to see him, as he's elder statesman in the league, be tied atop the league lead for sacks at 4 himself.
Man, Willie Jefferson, good memories. He's like if I could build a defensive end. Like, he's kind of bigger, lean, can knock down balls. He was outstanding. Did he go to the NFL after his time in Edmonton?
He had a quick little cup of coffee, but he was right back to the CFL. He ended up in Sask after he was here. And we were so good on our defensive line in 2014, 2015. Willie was a backup, a rotational player. And all the starters, they all had 5, 6, 7, 10 plus sacks apiece. And then Willie coming off the bench with his 6 sacks, another D tackle with his 4 sacks. Man, we were eating those quarterbacks back in the day.
2015, probably, now maybe recency bias, like the 2006, 2005 defense was great. For you, was 2015 the best defense you've been a part of?
Yeah, it was. I had more success personally, statistically, in 2014, but 15, we pretty much rushed 3 defensive linemen and lived in 9 guys dropping in coverage with some engaged 8 cover 0 blitzes thrown in there. And we just lived off of that because our 3 down linemen got pressure. We didn't always get home, but we got pressure and affected the quarterback. And it is very hard to throw when it's 5 receivers against 9 guys in coverage.
Man, I thought Dexter McCoyle had like magnets in his gloves that year. He was, I think it was his rookie
6'5",
year. Yeah,
covering space. And then you had Pat Watkins on the outside, another 6'5" corner. There's no 6'5" receivers, so Pat Watkins is just towering over every receiver, locking them up.
Good memories. Those were outstanding times. Awesome team to watch, and hopefully they can find that again this year because the defense really coming on from a guy who was great on that team, J.C. Sherritt. Where have you seen him grow the most over the last year and a half?
I'm seeing him just more comfortable calling a game, settling into his game plan, not letting offensive coordinators get to their game faster than he's able to get to his game plan, meaning he's able to dictate. And when you have good players that have now good chemistry and good communication, you're able to dictate that game plan defensively because you trust each other and you can just play faster. Last year, they weren't playing fast. They were more hesitant. This year, they're playing fast, and you're seeing the success that they're having. And I would stack them against any defense in the league. I would say they're one of the best defenses out there, if not the top. And it's so cool to see them take on the identity because I know JC on a way more intimate level than most people. Same with Aaron Grimes, right? We blood, sweat, and tears with these guys. And to see this defense take on the identity, and I'm getting chills talking about it, bro, seeing how this defense is taking place in the way that they're playing physical and fast, not afraid to hit guys and whack them at the knees, just like Aaron Grimes used to do in the past. It is so incredible to see, and I know that this team is going in the right direction because they have the right people in place, man.
Are you a predictions guy?
Yeah, I'd like to dabble in a prediction or two here.
So Gregor,
I'm always right.
Gregor and your co-host Declan Kruger are leaning the way of the Riders. I'm taking the Elks. What do you have tonight?
I'm taking the Elks. Not to be a homer, but I think the mentality is in its dog cutthroat mentality. But you, fellas, let's go. These guys are kind of a wounded animal in Sask. They're licking their wounds right now. Unfortunately, it's a tragedy, but our paycheck is still on the line. Wins and losses. Let's go out there and punch them in the mouth and put our foot on the throat early. That's how I would be talking if I played.
Eddie, thanks so much for doing this. Get back into the barbecue mode. Enjoy the hot dogs, and looking forward to hearing your thoughts on the game tomorrow morning.
Thanks, fellas. Can't wait.
There you
See
go.
later, guys.
Eddie Steele. Thanks, Eddie. Love hearing him on the morning show. First with Carius, now Tommy Gazzola, Mondays and Friday. And then, of course, with Declan Kruger, Mondays and Fridays as well. You guys taping early morning tomorrow, Deck?
Oh, yeah. 9:30 type ting.
That's not bad. So Eddie wraps up 9, goes straight down to the what's the Nation? Is that
Nation
what
HQ.
Nation HQ?
Yeah, we're taking over Elks Nation. We're trying to annex them slowly,
What's
but they're
the-
pretty powerful.
What's the bakery below? Bread and
Bread and
butter?
butter.
You ever drop in there?
Always walk past it. Always think they might throw a little, hey, you look like you work here. Want a free one? Haven't got that yet, though.
I'm going to have to e-transfer you some cash. And then you buy some stuff, you know?
Yeah, no, I hear that.
Maybe.
It smells unbelievable. Like every time I walk past it, it smells so good, but haven't actually ever stopped in.
One of these days. Just a text in here from Ben says construction in Highway 2 before Leduc going south. Big lines, heavy traffic leaving Edmonton, stop and go. So for those of you who might be heading that way, hey, take your time, turn on your AC, turn on Sports 1440, and we'll get you through the next 20 minutes at least. We'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll get to Cam Tate's 2-minute warning and wrap up this show. It is the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, and Twitch, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Say hello to Alberta's home for reeling and dealing. With Play Alberta, you can spin into the excitement of popular slots like Cash Eruption and Desert Fantasy. Experience Alberta exclusive games and get in on the action of live dealer tables with all new elevated stakes. However you prefer to play, the fun is ready when you are. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Need an excuse to upgrade your ride? Well, we got a few to share. Go Auto has over 18,000 new and used vehicles ready to test drive right now. With more than 70 locations, your perfect match could be closer than you think. A family-friendly SUV for soccer practice, a fuel-sipping commuter, or a hardworking truck that's ready for anything. Trusted brands and a team that's actually happy to help. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
The Bricks 55th birthday bash continues with big savings store-wide. Save on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and electronics. Plus, take 55 months to pay with 0% interest on furniture and mattresses. Or 36 months on appliances and electronics on approved credit. Find up to 30% off bedroom packages, up to 40% off select mattresses. And don't forget, you could be one of 275 winners with over $155,000 in prizes to be won. Hurry in. The birthday bash ends July 29 at The Brick. Saving you more.
Are you looking for safe and reliable transportation solutions for your wedding, corporate retreat, or golf trip? Look no further than Silent Rides, Alberta's premier charter bus company. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer 3 different sizes of units to cater to your needs, and we provide first-class service at affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information and to request a quote, contact sales at 877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Does your bank do local? We do. When you bank with Vision Credit Union, you're banking with a rural Albertan cooperative that cares about the community where you live. There's no question. We actively support our rural communities at the local level through charitable donations, volunteerism, local team and event sponsorships, and by returning millions in profit shares to our members every year. Does your bank do that? We do local. Bank with Vision Credit Union. VisionCU.ca.
Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete and septic tanks to blocks, precast water pads, jersey barriers, and aggregates. Farmers, contractors, homeowners. Plan your next project at BashawConcrete.com. Family owned. Over 60 years pouring. Bashaw Concrete Products. Once again, start here. BashawConcrete.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque. Made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at www.cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show with guest host Connor Halley. This is Sports 1440.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Here on Sports 1440. Thank you guys for joining us today, however you did so, on the AM dial, streaming, watching on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, Twitch. We do appreciate it greatly. The show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. $1,000 a day tonight. PlayAlberta.ca. Then you got the Lotto Max on Friday, 25 mil. Lotto 649 Gold Ball Jackpot Saturday, 36 mil. Go check it out. PlayAlberta.ca. Declan had a good question today and 5 questions of like the best, worst movies. The Wise Guy says, really late to the party, but Hot Rod is a great bad movie. Deck, I don't know about you, but I love Hot Rod. The scene of him falling down the hill and just how long it goes, how exaggerated it is. Every time I watch it, I crack up. Like that to me, just a good movie for me.
Good night, Denise. Yeah, it's unreal shout. You know what? Actually, fun fact about that movie, Rod, he doesn't complete a single stunt in that movie.
No?
No.
I mean...
Yeah, right.
The way it starts off with like the ramp breaking and him just hitting, hilarious. Great cast too. That's a good pull. That's My Boy from Ben. Adam Sandler. Yeah, that opening little sequence is something.
I actually rewatched That's My Boy like a decent little bit, and so that's another great shout.
I've only got like 10 minutes in, to be honest with you.
Why? Because it's just so bad. You got to turn it off.
Yeah, man. It's like when Adam Sandler, like Jack and Jill and that one, and then he did the deal with Netflix to produce all those movies.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, exactly. Like I tried to watch that one, but it's just, I just can't do it. One day I'll try to get through it. My wife also will be like, you feeling this? Like 10 minutes into a movie. And if I say no, or she says no, sometimes we stop it. We should just power through, but rarely do we do that. Why don't we get to Cam Day's 2-minute warning? I kind of teased it earlier on, and he asked me, do you want me to send it early? No, I like 5:40. I want to make sure Tater gets his time to do this. The 2-minute warning every day here on the Jason Gregor Show, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No OT charges. Furnace repair and maintenance. Do it now at legacyheating.ca. I mean, you hear him all over the place. You hear him on The Morning Show. I believe you can hear him on multiple radio stations. And of course, here on the Jason Gregor Show. Let's get to it. Cam Tate's 2-minute warning.
Perhaps. That's my word this afternoon, buddy. Perhaps, with Babcock now coaching the Oilers and Killam running the Elks, same city, those two swap notes sometime. Remember, Babcock's Columbus stop ended fast after he asked players to hand over their phones. Did Killam try that with the Elks today? No word of it. None. That's perhaps for today. Coaches, listen up. When your locker room clippings say, we're just the more talented team, that's not a compliment. That's a trap. Sports psychologists Kakinuma and colleagues found that ability-focused praise, telling athletes they win because of who they are, not what they do, backfires hard. It tells the brain, talent is fixed. I either have it or I don't. And here's the problem. The moment that athlete hits real adversity, a tough opponent, a bad call, a slump, that fixed mindset cracks. Enjoyment drops, performance drops with it. The 5-1 Edmonton Elks take on the Saskatchewan Roughriders in what? A little over an hour. The Elks, they're good. And you can see it all over social media and mainstream media. The Elks could very well read that on their mobile device. So, buddy, do you think Mark Killam asked his players to give him their phones? 2-minute warning. And oh boy, I want to tee off like Donnie P. Sports 1440.
I want to tee off like Donnie P. The redemption story. Go check out our social media profiles. Just go to Instagram, Sports 1440 AM, and check out Donnie's swing. Tater also said, does he ask for their phone? I actually asked Donovan for his phone moments ago as a joke. And Declan was like, that's weird. I'm like, it's a joke. Wouldn't actually be doing that. I might, but not actually. Thank you, Cam. You kind of had that line in there as well, but we're the better team. You know, it drives me crazy when teams lose and say we were the better team. Well, then you lost. So were you the better team? If you're the better team, it wouldn't have been close. That's one of my pet peeves.
You can lose a game and be the better team, though. I really believe that. Now, I don't
think so.
I don't ever think you can lose a 7-game series and be the better team. Like, I wholeheartedly believe that. But I think you can lose a game and be the better team. Because luck is a factor, like legitimately.
Okay, so you're the better team. Were you the better team in the game?
You might have been. Oh, sorry, I'll throw Donovan's mic on because it looks like he's chomping at the bit here too. But like, you might have just been the unluckier team or the luckier team. Like, that's very real.
A real
That's
man makes his
very
own
real.
luck. Billy Zane, Titanic.
No, but like, yeah, how'd that end up for him? How did he finish that movie? Didn't he die on the ship? So great reference, Connor.
It was a Dwight Schrute reference for what it's worth.
But I'm saying like I agree with you in the sense like if a team loses a 7-game series, I will never ever buy into the sentiment that the better team lost because you had 7 chances to prove it. But a one-off game, like anything can happen. And luck is a legitimate factor. That's all I'm saying.
Like, how many times did we see the puck go off Darnell Nurse's rear end, leg, skate? So like 6 times last year straight into the net? That's not the team was the better team. That's just called unfortunate events sometimes happen. That's sports.
Was the puck in their end? Did they not get the puck out?
Sure, but like
now you're just like that's just what happens in hockey.
That's just what happens.
You're not gonna you're not gonna keep the.
You guys said the Oilers were the better team. Are you telling me the Oilers were the better team in that series?
No, that's not about the series. I'm just talking about like the course of the year. You're gonna lose games when you're the better team. That's just how sports works to me. Like
referee, like you get a bad penalty.
There are so many things that can stack up against you in a game in a one-off. Like.
Are you telling me UMBC was a better basketball team than Virginia when they beat them in 2018 in the round of 64?
On that day, clearly.
Yeah,
they won.
On that's not like totality.
Yeah.
If they play 100 times, Virginia wins that 98 times.
But they don't.
That's what the better
they play once, and on that day, they weren't the better team.
Yeah, but that on that day, but that doesn't make them a better team. Like, that's what I'm saying. If they had played a 7-game series, there's no question Virginia would win. Like, I don't think you would disagree with that.
If
they didn't.
Who are you, Justin Herbert?
I can't. But like,
also, Declan, Billy Zane character did not die in the Titanic, so
he didn't.
No, he was a jerk. He won one of the lifeboats.
What? How did he die in that?
I had to look it up. I didn't know actually.
I just have to say, like, to me, it's a little too oversimplified to say that if you're really the better team, you win every game. Like, the better team loses probably 25% of games, whatever sport you're playing. And it's not just about this is the better team on paper. Sometimes the better team just straight up doesn't win any game.
25% seems high, but
I mean, how many games do you watch? Like,
I don't mind like speculative, like if we say that, but if I heard a player say that we were the better team tonight, oh, you lost. So enjoy being the better team. In your mind, you lost.
That's fair as well.
It's a bad excuse. It's a bad excuse.
But it's also real.
It is real
for sure.
But like
I agree, I totally agree. It's a bad excuse, but like sometimes it's the case, bro.
The amount of times I've seen like Austin Matthews or Mitch Marner go, we were the better. I felt we were the better team tonight, but we just couldn't get it done. That I agree with you, but at the same time, I've watched enough sports to look at certain teams just get absolutely shafted by, a tough night from the refs or a tough night from just single-handedly one individual loses you the game. It's not because the team stunk. Yeah, well, it's even ball luck, right? Like whatever sport you're playing, like,
Also,
soccer,
like,
baseball, basketball, everything can happen.
Like if you play better for 90% of the game and then have a just glaring mistake. Let's even make it a bigger number. If you're the better team if you play better for 99% of the game and then have a glaring mistake that makes up for 1%, do you think you were the better team or not? Like, does that 1% carry that much weight that automatically they're not the better team?
How did you let that 1% dictate the game then?
Perfect example.
If you're the better team.
LCD. Hey guys, Team Canada at the Olympics this year. I think we would all agree that Team Canada dumpstered the U.S. for about 90% of that game, and the U.S. just basically found a miraculous way to win. If Nathan McKinnon doesn't absolutely screw the pooch, Team Canada has a gold medal around their necks.
I kind of don't love that example.
I think that's a perfect example because the U.S. stunk.
I think
they just found a way to win.
But my thing with that example is like people point to Connor Hellebuck, and I'm like, well, like Connor Hellebuck's part of the team.
It's on the team, right?
Like, he played well.
It's like a goalie.
I wish I agreed with the example because I'm so against Connor. It's making me yell a little bit. However,
I'm also kind of being a troll. Like,
I know you are
hitting you with Titanic and stuff. Hey, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, I will concede there are moments where like the team deserves a better outcome, but I don't want to hear it from a player. If I hear it from a player, I'm like, shut up. Don't say that. Say something else. Say, hey, bounces didn't go our way, but don't claim to be the better team when you lose.
I also hate that in a one-on-one sport, like tennis.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt like I was better than her today or better than him today. It just didn't go my way. You're just a loser.
The only individual sport I think it carries weight is combat sports, because they're like one lucky shot's very real in those sports. But at the same time, it's like, well, like don't get caught with that shot.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the only one where I get like, yeah, I agree. Like in tennis, like go take a nap.
Like Serena Williams did that all the time, and I know Serena was great, but man, did that make me mad.
Well, boys, I wish we got to that topic earlier. It was fun. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today. Really do appreciate it. It was a lot of fun. If you missed anything, go to jasongregor.com or Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from, or up on YouTube. You can watch it there as well. We'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again and wrap up this week. Right now is Final Sports 1440 update with Declan Kruger, brought to you by Go Auto. Shop over 17,000 vehicles at goauto.ca with 31 vehicle brands and 73 locations to choose from. Find your car at goauto.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
One game in the MLB right now. D-backs lead the Cards 10-2 in the middle of the ninth. Royals and Tigers in the other game tied 0-0 on the top of the fifth. Braves beat the Padres earlier 6-5, and the Twins were over the Guardians 3-1 in extras, as were the Jays over the Rays at home. CFL schedule, Week 8 kicking off tonight between Edmonton and Saskatchewan. 7 p.m. kickoff out in Regina between the 5-1 Elks and the 4-1 Rough Riders. The line for that one currently -4.5 for Saskatchewan. From around the sporting world, Chicago bringing back Patrick Kane on a 2-year, $16 million deal, while the Columbus Blue Jackets and Jet Reeves have agreed to a 3-year, $15 million deal just before arbitration. The Las Vegas Raiders have also signed number one pick Fernando Mendoza to his rookie-scale contract, a 4-year, $57.7 million deal. Declan Kruger, this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Yeah, Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeart